Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the second semi-final of the URC. We already know one of the two sides that are making their way through to the final, that being the Bulls, which is why we've got Loftus just to my side, because if the Glasgow Warriors can pull off the upset here, they'll be heading to South Africa for their next contest. Whereas for Munster, if they get themselves a victory here and continue their winning streak that they find themselves on, or at least sitting at the top of the table anyway, they will have a home final going head-to-head with Munster next week. Looking through at the starting lineup for Munster, first of all, Jeremy Luckman alongside Niall Scannell and Stephen Archer as the front three. Wickerley alongside Tyke Byrne. I feel like he is one of those players that needs to have a massive game here. Peter O'Mahony, John Hodnett and Jack O'Donoghue to slot in as the number 8. Craig Casey and Jack Crowley. It's a dangerous 9-10 combo. Those two men, of course, going to be evident in this contest for Munster. And I've always talked about it when it comes to these two sides playing. It's going to be a defensive battle. And the men in the back line, of course, are going to be hugely important, playing factor into that, stopping the line breaks that could come for the opposition. Alex Nankerville and Antoine Frisch will be the midfield combo with Simon Zebo, Shane Daly, and also at the back, it is Mike Haley. Then for Glasgow, the away side in this contest, Jamie Butty, Johnny Matthews and Xander Fagerson are the front row. Scott Cummins and Richie Gray in the locking duo with Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey as the number 8. George Horn and Tom Jordan, the 9-10 combo here for Glasgow. They're known for scoring some pretty quick-fire tries in the early stages, but up against a Munster defence, which normally tackles at above 90%. It's going to be a tough day at the office, but then saying that, Glasgow also one of the best tackling sides throughout the URC competition. So this one might be a defensive chess match between these two sides. Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones going to be the 12 and 13 combo with Kyle Stain, Cancellieri, who had a very good game last week in their contest, and then also Josh Mackay there at number 15. Looking through at the recent fixtures for these sides. First of all, Munster, they did have their game up against Ulster, which they did have to win to top the table. They were able to do so. So they moved themselves through to, of course, top qualifier, where they were able to beat the Ospreys 23 points to 7 in their quarterfinal. Whereas for the Glasgow Warriors, they had a tough loss up against the Lions, followed by a good win over Zebre. And they beat the Stormers in the last contest 27 points to 10. They won't have a home final, though. If they do win this contest, they will instead have to head to South Africa. Whether or not that's the same fate as their game up against the Lions, we will have to wait and see. But in the chat, we have got back on. How's it, everyone? Says Undeli, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Glasgow upset on the cards. Get it. Says bystander. And also, we have got the Kiwi Lad, says Spider Mech, and hoping for a Glasgow win to allow that South Africa home final. Be a tough for Glasgow to pull off, says Bokeski. And there as well. And that is the thing. Like, Glasgow, they are a great side. They have got some impressive away wins throughout the season. Munster at home, of course, that is exactly where they want to be when it comes to that playoff game. They want to have the home field advantage in their favour. They want to take the South Africans up north. And, you know, it's going to be a very intriguing game because, like I mentioned, two sides that defensively have been near the top of their game throughout this season, not conceding a huge amount of points the majority of the time, as we can see there. Munster with the points differential of 165 in their favour. Glasgow 166. So very even in that regard. They both had the same amount of wins. The only difference was that draw that Munster had earlier on in the season that allowed them to be that little bit higher up, as it wasn't counted as a loss. Of course, they got themselves a few points in that regard, but so even between these two sides. In fact, all of the top four, you could argue, definitely deserve to be there with the stats and also the comparisons. Two sides in Leinster and the Bulls, who were try-scoring machines throughout the season, went head-to-head with each other. Not a huge amount of tries scored, but a 25-20 win in favour of the Bulls at home. So they now have the opportunity to watch this game, knowing that they'll be in the final, but it's just that question, will it be home or will it be away from home for this contest? Looking through at the benches, Munster, they have got Barron, John Ryan and Ollie Jaeger. Also, R.G. Snyman deciding to go with him off the bench, as well as Gavin Coombs. So a really strong bench here for Munster in this matchup. Murray, O'Brien and Kenderlin as the back replacements. Turner, Kebble and Walker, the front row replacements for Glasgow, with Williamson, Ferry and Fenter. So going with that 6-2 split, with Dobie and Rob Thompson coming off the bench. I believe last week up against the Stormers, they also went with that 6-2 split. So they're hoping to run Munster a little bit ragged, but whether or not it can happen in this game, we are soon to find out. To not cast my vote, I give it to Munster, says Andeli, and come on Glasgow, says Manny M. And it does seem like a lot of South Africans are supporting Glasgow in this contest because, of course, they want that home final. And then as soon as it gets to next week, if Glasgow were to get the win, they become the enemy. That seems to be the way that it worked out. I know that there was another competition earlier on, I think it was the Champions Cup, that it was actually the same case, how if they were playing a side that were going to benefit South Africa, of course, they were the favourites. They were the ones that South African sides wanted to win. But of course, if it gets to the final, there's going to be a lot of aggression. There's going to be a lot of bad blood because at the end of the day, these sides want to win. The URC, Glasgow have never done it. Munster, they did it last year and they want to make it back-to-back. They weren't in the inaugural URC final. That was, of course, held by the Bulls and the Stormers. And the Bulls were the ones who didn't do too well. And we have got Glasgow maybe, says Spider-Meek. I found a recent interview with Wiggy, a channel called Pinergy, says Eric there. And if Glasgow win, I'm backing them to beat the Blues, says Manny M. And beat the Bulls. Oh, that is a big one. Wouldn't have a clue which way to go, Munster, I guess, says Spider-Meek. And then Glasgow maybe. So you're really 50-50 by the sounds of it for this match, which, to be honest, is going to be a pretty awesome way of being able to watch this game. Because if you love yourself some quick-fire tries, that could be a possibility. If you love yourself some really hard 20-phase defensive plays, like that is what you're going to get in this game as well. Both of these sides, like I mentioned, impressive tackling records throughout this season. They'll be hoping that it goes well. He had never been keen on Munster. Why is that, Manny M? Is it the players? Is it the format that they play? Is it what is it? What is it about Munster that you do not like? Good luck to both teams. I was getting carried away with the MLB, says Mr. All in there too. But we are only 8 minutes away from the kickoff in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. In which rugby province do you stay, Munster? Oh yeah, says Robert there. But for me, I'm kind of halfway in between Canterbury and Otago in terms of rugby provinces here in New Zealand. And I say Glasgow wins by 3 points, says Manny M. And that would be two very close semi-finals. We've just finished the Super Rugby semis, of course. We're going to see the Blues versus the Chiefs in the final. Two sides from the same nation. That cannot happen in this final. But we could see a rematch of a few entertaining games throughout the earlier stages of the season. Here they are always winning, says Manny M. Wait, so you don't like Munster because they're good, is your logic. So by that logic, would that mean if the All Blacks did what Justin Marshall, as you keep on saying, did, and they do what he said, and they win 15 games in a row, are you going to turn on the All Blacks because now they've won too much, so you don't like them anymore? It's time for an underdog like Glasgow to win. I mean, the Bulls won in their last contest, of course, managing to get themselves the underdog win in that other semi-final. Good game, I think, and I hope for a big score. You may not get it in this game, I'll be honest. It could be like 17-14 or maybe 12-6 or something like that. But at the same time, these two sides, like I mentioned, they've got try-scoring ability, and it's just going to be an intriguing one to see actually who does well. The All Blacks are different, says Manny M. And there's, well, the good news is you won't have to worry about it because they ain't winning all 15 games this year, I can tell you that. But looking through once again at the starting lineups for this contest, ladies and gentlemen, for this Munster side, in terms of key players, I'm looking straight at Tyke Byrne. I think Jack O'Donoghue in number 8 is going to be extremely handy as well. And then, you know, who knows, maybe they get a forward try in the form of Jeremy Luckman or Stephen Archer, an unpredictable one, a prop crossing the try line. It's actually more of a possibility in a game where you've got two sides who are extremely strong on defence just out from their goal line, because they'll just throw the big boys at the line and hope that they can bundle their way over. Crowley at 10 as well, I think, for Munster. It's going to be very key in this contest. Then for Glasgow, in terms of their key players in this game, Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones, that's a lot of power coming at them from the midfield. Dempsey, Darge and Fagerson, that loose forward trio, going to have to be very strong in the breakdowns. Big shots coming in the tackle department. And then I think Josh Mackay at the back needs a big one here. But we are getting very close. Like I said, Shane Paul Hamish had to get up really early to commentate. Although, to be fair, we haven't gone to sleep yet. We've been up since yesterday. So we got a little bit longer. South African social media has exploded. how bad this ref was. Says Albert, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the greatest refereeing performance. I think the Leinster even at times felt like it wasn't going their way either, but like it's gonna be unfortunate because of the fact that like a win for the Bulls is going to be slightly, I guess, not dwindled, but if their fans get too involved, it's going to make the win not as, I guess, special, if that makes sense. Like, it's a weird one because if you win a game and you're still criticizing the referee, like, yes, the referees sometimes do get a bit of criticism, but they still won. They still got the job done. Did you see the trolling Wiggly got over disrespecting POH? I did not know. I have not seen anything about it. Lad, where's my Kiwi? Says Albert. And also, okay, Hamish, if they don't win all 15, you can buy me a beer. Says Manny, I probably can't do that because I can't confirm your age. Even if you say you're 30, you could be 12, and I don't know that. So that would be illegal. We go there, here we go. Morning, brother Hamish, says Betty V, welcome in. And hi, Olin Hamish, says Robert there. And Munster did beat the All Blacks 12-0 in 1978. Says Manny M, is that where the real start of the hatred started for you, Manny, when they were able to beat the All Blacks? But this one's very close. And at Thorpman Park as well, like, of course, that advantage does go the way of Munster, but, you know, Glasgow haven't been a terrible travelling side throughout this season either. Hi all, says Anunnaki, and grab me a Sammy before the game starts, says Spider-Mick. What are you going to put in the Sammy? Spider-Mick, do let me know. It's 4:56 here in New Zealand, 4:16 a.m., says Spider-Mick. Yeah, so it is very early here in New Zealand, that is for sure, but we are going to be here all throughout this contest, and we are going to be, of course, doing plenty of the commentary throughout next weekend as well. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Late, it's 4:57, says Mr. Allin. Yeah, that's why I don't like Munster, says Manny M. I assume that there was something more than just they've won a few games, so that makes you not like them very much. But they're just about to make their way out of the tunnel, these two sides. South Africans are now rooting for Glasgow, with all our South Africans and South African coach, says Albert. It is quite funny, isn't it, that it's now Glasgow are South Africans' best friend. And if they end up doing very well in this game, of course, the South Africans will cheer for a second and then they'll go, right, now we have to face you, so we don't like you anymore. Ref was dodgy for both sides and the Bulls game breakdown wasn't clear what the heck he was expecting. At least we came out on the correct side of him, and considering Villy had much to say, yeah, he was going about it the wrong way, Villy LaRue, and he's got to be very careful because with a referee with a bit more sternness, he could find himself getting marched back 10, and that's something we don't see too often throughout a game. From back Munster as a province, comprising of Cork, Limerick, and Kerry, plus 3 more, and let's hope this game the ref won't try to be man of the match, says WLK, almost 50k subscribers for this one-man show. Says Eric, had to refresh, says Mr. Allin, 3 minutes ago, says Robert. And yeah, and this game isn't on stand by the looks of it. Why am I not surprised? The home of rugby, they reckon, says Jobo. Is it on Rugby Pass TV? There's a possibility it will be on Rugby Pass for you guys in Australia. Hopefully it is there. Just usual Hamish, bacon, tomato, and a few greens. Bacon sounds all right. Glad South African team are in the final. Your thoughts? Says Birdie V, if Glasgow win, it'll be a boost for Scottish rugby. Says Manny M. If Munster win, it will be a boost for Irish rugby. Maybe even performance making few of the players actually make it into the squad to face the South Africans in the near future. How can we not support Glasgow with Marco Steyn and Skurman? All South Africa people, says Albert there. See, I feel like if it was the other way around though, and it was Glasgow who were top qualifiers, Munsters who were a little bit lower, South Africans would still be backing the Munster side. And guys, please note, Hamish can't show the game, says Birdie V. World ranking, says WLK. Is he going to list them? Maybe. Or is he asking me for them? Was that a question mark rather than the dot thingy? WLK just got back from Loftus. I go Glasgow. Says Burning Lash. I just did. Says Undeli. How's it all watching? Don't forget to smash that like button if you're new to the Kiwi Lads channel. Subscribe. Says Bertie V as well. They are just playing zombie world rankings. 1 South Africa, 2 the Bulls, 3 Ireland. Says WLK. So we're a Leinster. In that case, WLK. I guess they'd be 4th, wouldn't they? Or would they be 3rd? where would you put them? The Scottish under-20 team is playing in the World Trophy, not in the World Cup. Says Manny M and Franco Smith is one of the best South African coaches. He's now coaching Glasgow. Says Albert and Munster making their way out of the tunnel in front of what looks like a pretty large Thorpe Park crowd. I was a bit disappointed to not see a sellout for Loftus in their game up against Leinster. I thought they would have been able to sell that one out. This one for Munster, maybe there's a few empty seats in that top stand, but other than that, she's looking pretty full. Although Loftus can hold a lot more in terms of the attendance. What is your prediction? I'm going Glasgow by 5. I'm going Munster by 6. I am not confident by any means in terms of that prediction. This game could easily go either way. Loftus can take 64,000, says Albert. What can Thorpe Park hold? Thorpe Park capacity. What we got at Thorpe Park, 25,600 is the difference there. But Munster, they are going to be kicking this one off from right to left. And we are under the way. Jack Crowley is going to be ready to go. And well, standing Bulls number 1, Lowell, says Outlaw. The crowd getting behind their side. Didn't any of the Super Rugby semi sell out? Loftus had 35,000, says WLK. Not sure about the Hurricanes. I don't think they sold out either, but it is concerning. Like, that wasn't a dig at the South Africans, by the way. I feel like you took it personally, which wasn't the intention. I'm just saying, if there was ever going to be a game of the URC to sell out in South Africa that didn't involve a South African side, surely it was Bulls Leinster, or Stormers Leinster, or Sharks Leinster. Just someone versus Leinster seems to be the one that would draw the biggest crowd. So I felt like they could have got a few more people in. 51,000 officially, but can be pushed to 64,000, says Albert. Our South Africans need to quit bragging with our South African expat rugby players playing for other countries guilty. Guess it's frustration and happiness for the expat lads. And Warriors are favourite. Good luck, Munster. But there's already been a knock-on in this game, so we are going to have our first scrum feed of the day. Pack weight's extremely even, only 4 kgs difference between these two sides. Glasgow with the 4 kg disadvantage, but that just means they didn't feed them as much before the game. Make all the balls, Bok, says Outlaw. Could be South African fans are saving up for South Africa Island, I think that is. From Undeli. Glasgow just have to defend smart. That's a massive push from Munster. And they've got themselves the penalty advantage already using their backline. They've got plenty of pace in there, but great low tackle made by Consigliere. Now Casey goes across to Crowley. Burn dropped by Ferguson, who tries to counter-ruck. Believe me, Hammy, Eden Park already sold out, says Spider Mick. Now going down the wing, John Hodnett having to walk the tightrope to stay in the field of play. And behind Munster, some nice passing early on, but not a huge amount of metres being gained. It's going to be the penalty advantage now for Munster. And behind again, looping around play, I believe that would have been Crowley. Supporting Munster because of RG Snyman. Says Coindele there. That's going to be knocked on. Oh, that's tackled without the ball. But they will go back for the original penalty advantage. Who won the first match of the URC? In the end, it was the Bulls. They won it 25 points to 20. So Leinster had 20 capped Irish test players and could have beat the Bulls. So how will Ireland beat the Box? Says Albert. I mean, it's a good question. And I know that it's one that people have asked for a while. But then, you know, it just seems to be something different when they put on that green kit, doesn't it? And it's the same with the Springboks. You know, when you wear that green and gold, it just hits you a little bit differently than club rugby. And that's not to say that these sides don't play their absolute hearts out in these games, but when you're wearing that international kit and you're singing your national anthem, that seems to just hit them a little bit on that next level. Hi, Hamish. And there's been a lot of banter about broccoli here, but you work long hours commentating on YouTube, so have you considered adding broccoli to your life for improved concentration? Says, cool story, bro. I mean, I already have some broccoli. I guess I could have another little floret, as they're called. We have good there. I think Ireland will beat the Box. Says Manny M. And mixed country players bring eyes to new clubs. Says Bystander, but this will be an early opportunity for the 3 points for Glasgow here. Jack Crowley. Ready to line this one up. And there is a dead silence at the moment from the crowd. Wants to be at home if they win tonight? They certainly would be, yep. Now Crowley strikes it. And he has missed away to the right-hand side, but you certainly can't blame the crowd noise for while he's missed it, unless maybe it was too quiet for the man. But 4 minutes in, and the score will remain at 0-0. Just say no to broccoli. Says Lollipop there. Not a moaning pot, but the ref blowing the Bulls game was very dodgy. Couple of late tackles the Bulls did not get. But let's hope all refs can be consistent, says Birdie V. Yeah, it seemed to be late shots they just weren't calling, because there were like 2 or 3 at least. Like that one on like Willie LaRue, that was kind of bad. Then there was the one on Johan Goosen, which was even worse. But I think that the referee, like, oh, that's a loose ball. It's going to be nicely cleaned up by Glasgow now. Go for the kick in behind. It will just bounce in the field of play. It was close to a 50-22 there for Glasgow. Great kick downfield from Hugh Jones. Great case here. It was originally a Munster backline movement, but there was a miscommunication. To be honest, Tammy, when I was a kid, I hate green. I scoop them aside and eat only the meat, says Spider Meat. See, the key is to eat it first. You know what I'm saying? Johan Goosen says a bystander. Now the ball is going to be thrown in. That's gone over the top. Johnny Matthews is there ready for it. Now, back across to the left-hand side here for Glasgow. This is their first attacking chance with Rory Darsh in possession. They're only a few metres out at the moment, about 7. Imagine a broccoli and spinach smoothie. Be a bit brutal, wouldn't it? Even putting spinach in a smoothie just turns the whole thing green and makes it look unappetising. Still going forward, Xander Ferguson. Moaning about the ref is as old as the game. The first ever to beat England, they moaned about the ref. Integral part of the game, says Lollipop. Nice run from Tui Palotu. Just dragged down short there. And Glasgow looking for the turnover. In fact, it's Munster, sorry. And that is going to be the penalty going the way of Munster. What are your thoughts on the refs, Hamish? It's one of those ones that you can't win. Like, a referee could have a blinder of a game and people will still interpret the law differently. And, of course, this referee from Bulls Leinster had anything but a blinder. But at the same time, like, you can't change it. There's nothing that's going to be done about it. You can complain all you like about a referee, but we still see the same referees, international, refereeing the important games. So, you know, like, it's just one of those ones you got to take the ref out of it. And as hard as that sounds like it is, it's what you got to do. Because they're not going to get rid of referees. They're not going to add robots as referees, because then, you know, people would say that the robots have been hacked. You just can't really win. But I know people want consistency, but maybe it's the laws that are also the problem, not the referees themselves. They see the rules differently, but that might also be because of the fact that the law book is 50,000 pages long and referees read different pages. And Leinster and Bulls ref was an absolute shocker. Good luck to the Bulls in the final, says Unleashed Mystery. Refs are far too inconsistent. Spinach is even worse, very high concentration of oxalates. I have no idea what oxalates are, but you know, anything green's supposed to be slightly good for you, isn't it? What about VAR of rugby? It's the same thing. They see it differently. We saw in that Super Rugby semi-final between the Chiefs and the Hurricanes. There were times where they looked back at things. There were other times they left it. But once again, you can't change it. Like, it's not going to change the result of a game. The closest we had to that, I believe, was the Premiership game where a referee actually had to apologise, or the club apologised or something, competition maybe, because there was something that was the wrong decision at the end. It's just Greece, however, gets the best of the rugby at the moment. Even our clubs are showing it. Says Kwandile, Kyle Stain, Ollie Kebo, and Henko Fenta, and Coach Franco Smith, all South Africans, so I have to support Glasgow. Why inject myself with anti-oxalates before I chow down on broccoli, says Cool Story Bro. I learn how to leave the ref alone. Nobody's perfect, we all make mistakes, says Spider Mick. And that's going to be another penalty going the way of Munster as they kick it further down the field. They'll be on the halfway line. And it looks like there is already an injury here to, who is that? At the moment, it's Niall Scannell, who has picked up a little bit of an injury. ARF, scary thoughts, says bystander. And that's the thing, like, even AI, they'll be like, no, the referees are still wrong. Because rugby is one of those things that if you look in every breakdown, you can find a penalty. Or a majority of breakdown anyway. Agree referees read different pages individual on their own pages, says Blues Nate. It's like the not releasing rule, isn't it? In the old days, if you hung on to the ball on the ground, there would be 8 forwards who will put holes in your body with their boots till you let the ball go. Nowadays, referees could see it as your hand's gone down, or you've left your feet, or a player didn't roll away, or one of your teammates was obstructing. You've got so many factors that can give a different penalty, and, you can see 3 of them per breakdown in some cases. It looks like it's going to be a line out now for Munster. We're already 8 minutes in. I feel like that's from all the referee talk. It's flying, a little bit of push and shove there between Matt Fagerson and also Peter O'Mahony. He does not take much rubbish from the youngsters, that is for sure. Well, 3rd year in a row, a South African team. Then the final South Africa is a definite fixture. Says, cool story, bro. I bring back proper rucking, says Ian Dixon, and that is going to be the penalty going the way of Munster. That is 3 on the trot, and we've got time off here by the sounds of it. It's playing at the arm. This isn't a yellow card, is it? I know that there's been infringements back to back to back. Right, 3 penalties in a row. Kyle Staines going. They're all for different things. When I played mountaineering was a thing. Not cry, but brag about the wounds after the game, says bystander. After night, Jake White is a very proud coach. Still miss Cornell Hendricks last season, but youth showed tonight, says Dow. And yeah, the big concern, of course, for the Bulls was no Ardensa and no Moody. But they did very well in being able to win that game up against a Leinster side that were in the fight at times, but just didn't really get to that next level throughout it. And how can New Zealand Rugby under-20 system catch up with France, England, South Africa? I watched on Sky Sports NZ. I mean, there's certain things. It's above my pay grade. I only talk fast. You end up on the wrong street. You get booted, says Ian Dixon. Yeah, and it got players out of the breakdown pretty quickly, didn't it, in the old days, because they didn't want to turn into a cheese grater. But now it's going to be available for Munster. They've got themselves another penalty advantage. Glasgow playing against the penalty advantage for a majority of this first half already. They're looping around nicely. Here comes Alex Nankervel, tackled by Hugh Jones as well as Sione Tuipulotu, but still manages to find the offload. I'm sure he's very happy with his Chiefs side making it through to the Super Rugby Pacific final. Okay, let me ask you this to all, even you, Brother Hamish. Do you think if a ref has a bad game, does he get fines or suspended for that game? Does he get another chance? Well, World Rugby, straight away, with the fact that you're not allowed to criticise a ref publicly, as a coach, as a player, as anyone involved in rugby, tells you straight away that they aren't going to do that. Because it's one of those ones that to admit a referee is wrong, I know that it sounds weird to say, but it's all about the old school respect of the referee that rugby used to have. It's still got it a little bit, but nowhere near as much as it used to have. It used to be the referee's decision was final. Yes, you could be annoyed about it, but you didn't question it. Nowadays, you've got 15 players all going around the referee, yelling at him, swearing at him, telling him he's an idiot. But rugby was supposed to be built on the principle of respect for the referee. This isn't football. But now we're getting closer and closer to football. So it's one of those ones that I don't think they'd bring in referee suspensions just because then that would be admitting that referees are making mistakes. It's similar to why they won't bring in player reviews for captains. What about Mackenzie getting Chiefs over the line? Every individual ref the game as they see it. Makes sense, says Bertie Weber. Now rolling maul here for Munster. They're getting a little bit closer to the line now. Looks like their rolling maul has been completely halted. Do they want to use it? Yep, it's popped out the back door. Jack O'Donoghue goes away to Alex Nankervel. Nice sniping run from the Kiwi. Now 5 metres out, Craig Casey going back across. Another advantage against Glasgow for being offside. They need to sort their discipline here or else they are going to be in a lot of trouble heading on in this match. Bulls win, says Will Jacobs. They certainly did. And they are waiting to see who wins this game. If Munster win it, they will have the home final. If Glasgow win it, then Glasgow will be heading to South Africa. Well, you know, you're going to get a knuckle print, says Anuaki. Munster by far the favourites. And also we have there, who do you think Razor should pick as his 8th man between Satutu, Savi and Jacobson? I believe it's between the first two. I don't think Jacobson's actually done enough this season after Satiti has taken his jersey and made it even better. I think Satiti's up there further than Jacobson at the moment from just the last 10 or so weeks. And big up to you, man, for real, says Kwandile. Oh, 5 is going to the bin for 10 minutes. That is Richie Gray now. Our ref is like a dance partner in the final chemistry. Says bystander. And yep, I was winning the wing at schoolboy and club level. And when you went down, you covered your head and your nuts. Yep, that was what we were taught as well. It used to be you put it here and you put it there so that you didn't get stomped on. And the forwards helped you out in the ruck quickly by the mountaineering, or with the mountaineering, says Bookski. And if Glasgow wins final at FNB Stadium last third, says Daniel. Thoughts on this ref, Hamish? I mean, he's certainly given away quite a few advantages so far, and he has stepped up there because he has decided to put that yellow card already, only 12 minutes in, but Munster do get that conversion, and it is going to now make the score 3-0 for Munster after the 12 minutes. Big up to you, man, for knowing how to pronounce our names correctly, says Kwandele. No worries at all. And I mean, it does take time, but eventually we get there. I'm back on the refereeing. When we get to international games, the refs are dodgy. Do rugby union have any say in that? Not really, no. Like, it's once again down to that same thing of, like, admitting that a referee was wrong in their decisions goes against the old school principles of you've got to listen to the referee. Because if referees start admitting that they're making mistakes, which some do, and, you know, that's helpful, but then you get the players in your face going, look, you made a mistake this time, you've made another one here, at least we believe. And then you get into a whole contest of who can yell at the referees the loudest, which you don't really want. Wearing gum guards and shoulder pads were a thing, says bystander. Now that's going to be kicked high from Munster, just on there, 22, nicely taken by Josh Mackay. Was wrestled down again. We weren't taught that. We were taught to smile when being rucked. Our ref was pathetic, in the Bulls game earlier, says Sergio. Yeah, I just feel like it was the occasion got to him. He hasn't done many big games at all, from what I've heard. And to chuck him in as a semi-final in what was relatively one of the biggest games of the season was always going to be a mission and a half for him. It's like when you see the Sevens and you see that the referee who's had 150 caps does not ref the final, but instead the guy who's got 3. And you wonder why there isn't a firm control of the game, because the ref just haven't found their voice at that point when there's such a young referee. I actually found out he's 32, though, this referee who was Jar Jar Leinster versus the Bulls. He doesn't look a day out of high school. Refs must just blow what they see. Everyone just relax and enjoy the games. The rest are doing their best. It's not as if there's a conspiracy, says a lollipop. That one's going to be called not straight against Munster. Come on, Glasgow. Refs can only get better with experience, says Robert Wood. Exactly right. Like, we all start somewhere, even as a player, you know. Your first game's never going to be the best one you've ever had. But as you stay out there on the field for a long time, you slowly get a feel for it. You start to know what's going on, what's the odds in this game. I know that at start, Glasgow were around $4 underdogs for this matchup. So far, Munster have had 61% of the possession, so that would probably put them even more as a favourite. We have got there, come on Glasgow. KFL dodgy refs need to be fined or suspended. My reason is they kill the game. They do, but not all the refs who have bad games are dodgy, and that's the problem. How do you decipher which referees are per se dodgy and which ones just had an off day? You know, you see players all the time. If you've got 15 games in a season, you might have an off day for 4 of them. But, you know, they don't get accused of match fixing because they've had a poor showing. You know, like it's a very tricky one that I feel like there's no easy way of fixing it, because, like, no matter what happens in a game, there's always going to be someone who complains about a ref. And that's the same in any sport. Now, Craig Casey actually got their ball back for Munster, and their breakdown was Alex Nankerval, and now they're back in position. Gents, let's be fair, the old refs, the new refs, to new refs, transition will be tricky. Yes, because of so many laws at the moment that they have in rugby. The rulebook's getting longer and longer, and the variation in the amount that can get debated is getting higher and higher. It's debatable issues, brother, says Bertie V. A ref is as accurate as a bus driver, says Mr. Orlin. Right, the ball is available for Glasgow. Limited possession for them throughout the first half of this matchup, but they're hoping to change it here. And that one's going to go just in the field of play. It's hard to judge a ref if he favours one team over the other, says Spider Mick. That kick has gone out on the fall from George Horn. That was their chance there to just get a bit of ball in hand not get too overconfident and just spend a bit of time with the ball in hand, but that did not quite work out. Unfortunately, just got back from Loftus. Was a good game to watch. See, there's Arthur there. And our line-out will be here for Munster again due to the mistakes being made at the moment from this Glasgow Warriors side. Going to be well thrown in. Now a good attack and run from John Hodnett. Gets the offload away. And Hugh Jones manages to take it back there for Glasgow. I imagine rugby had a ref review like cricket. It kind of does. It has the TMO. It's just you don't get to review it, which I think is probably... They tried it in the NRL and that kind of went wrong because it did make the games a lot longer, which is something they're trying not to do in rugby union. They're trying to keep the games flowing quickly. He who controls himself controls the game. Remember that guy? Is it Wayne Barnes who the ref? No, he retired because of all the hate he got. Now Craig Casey going to be rolling it back now. And all games are good to watch if your team wins. Says Robert. It's going to be kicked high now. Munster waiting for this one. Nicely taken under the high ball from George Horn. They trial referee review in the Varsity Cup a while back. Says Lollipop. Now it's booted in behind. Trying to control this one for Cancellieri. Glasgow just can't get out of their own half at the moment, which seems to be a real struggle. There's going to be a lost ball for Glasgow, and it's another knock on. Munster have got themselves the scrum feed. And you can see at the moment, Peter O'Mahony is going all around his team, giving high fives out. Is it true Wayne Barnes is not keen on New Zealand? Like, it's just, I think it's all just conspiracy theories, to be honest. Like, it only takes one game that a referee, people think that they've had a poor showing towards one team, and then it's become a thing. Like Wayne Barnes, what game was it that everyone thought he was against New Zealand? Wasn't it in like 2007 or something like that? This is the variable which both teams take on. It's a toss-up unless the big bookies contacted the bugger. Deserved or described a certain Aussie ref of deciding before the game of deciding who was going to win. Did not like making himself to be a liar. That one was dodgy, says Elmar. Looks like some strapping's going to go onto the head of Tom Jordan here. The crowd are certainly being electric throughout the early stages. Now, I should mention, Munster have actually got a man advantage for the next 3 minutes in this contest. Hello from Stormers fan, says Eben, welcome in, mate. You are doing extremely well. Question is, who's going to be that first breakthrough try? I think Nankerville's got a really good chance. Do you get paid because you're doing a great job for us? The channel is monetized, but I do not get any of the revenue because we put it straight back into the channel. So pretty much any money made off the channel will go towards either a microphone or our subscription for watching the sport or green screen or anything like that. But we do not pocket anything from the channel. Leave Wayne Barnes alone. Next subject. Says Blues Nate. And also they should have a recount for the 2023 final. I say it was rigged. Says cool story, bro. And just here for a minute, congratulations to the Bulls. Disappointed as a Leinster fan. I thought we'd scrape through, but I was always worried. Says Brian there as well. Yeah, certainly a close game between those two sides. Big push from Munster there again. How have they not got themselves the penalty there? But it is going to now be 10 metres out from the line. Tyke Byrne going back across here for Munster. Who's going to be that breakthrough player? Gets them on the try sheet first. Congrats to the Bulls. Was a hard game, says Eben there. And don't forget to hit the light, says Undele. And the chat now, Crowley goes on the outside to Jack O'Donoghue. Whereas the ref, this game's ref from Georgia. Now Byrne sitting 15 metres out. Jeremy Luckman runs straight at Matt Fagerson. Good protection of the ball, but for how long? Looked like Glasgow wanted that counter ruck. O'Donoghue again, 10 metres out from the line. A stalemate between these two sides at the moment with just the 3 points to separate them. 5 metres out. Crowley. In fact, as Casey goes off to Luckman again. I heard most millionaires, billionaires come from New Zealand. Is it true? No, probably not. Now, 5 metres out from the line. Casey with the pop pass up. Going to Wycherley. Just noting my membership is up. I'll join again at the end of the month, Amish. Says O'Brien, no worries. And they have brought back the scrum in rugby league. They should have left it out, says Manny M. If Glasgow wins, does that mean that the Bulls will get the home final? That is correct, yes. So, of course, the Bulls are hoping that Glasgow can pull off the win here, because then it would give them the home field advantage for that next match. After the 1999 semi in 2003 final, people became, I think that is from Cool Story, a big push from Munster, and you wouldn't think that they had the only 4 kg advantage with a shove like that. That was effective. It's just a real lack of possession at the moment for Glasgow up late. Oh, I'm late up, the Hamish says. Bill, thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated for your generosity. At the moment, 21 minutes in. You haven't missed any tries yet, though. Haven't seen either of these sides get over the try line just yet. Nicely claimed by Matt Ferguson. Now Rory Darge across to Sione Tuipolotu. And something that Glasgow will have as a bit of a confidence booster here is the fact that they have been under pressure pretty much all throughout this game, yet they haven't conceded more than just a 3-point. Simon Zebo takes it nicely on the halfway line for Munster. They're going away to the right-hand side now. Nice stepping from the Munster number 13, Antoine Frisch. The ref knew. Milked the penalty by jump off the line like being pushed. AB's won that day. Our ref saw it but let it go, says Spider Meek. Most billionaires are from South Africa, like the Oppenheimers, Musk, and some Murdochs. Wasn't Zebo retired? I think he's retired from international, but not from club rugby. Now running forward, Mike Haley trying to find a gap. Actually wearing headgear for this contest. Would like Glasgow to win, but it seems Munster has the know-how and the RG factor. South Africans in Glasgow must come to the party. Defence, says Errol. Nice pass on the outside to John Hodnett. Gets through one. Tom Jordan tries to strip him of possession. Matt Ferguson over the ball, and he's got the clean turnover. Big fence coming in from Tom Jordan. Wrestled down by Casey. Took a big knee to the head from Johnny Matthews. 40 metres out from their line at the moment for Glasgow. We've got that gifted membership from Robert as well, I should mention. Thank you very much, Robert. Greatly appreciated there too. Now it's going to be the box kick coming from George Horn. Nicely taken by Jack Crowley. He breaks through 3, but tackled on the halfway line. It's going to be hard to make meters in this contest. What does Zebo say about Rassi? I know that there was a whole heap of something that went on. I haven't actually read too much into it because most of the time when you see a headline, most of it's been taken out of proportion. And I can't says Stefan. And thanks, Robert. Been struggling to get country a bank account to allow Dono and sub. Cheers, bugger. Says bystander. That's going to be stolen, though, by Kyle Stain. And Glasgow score the first try in this contest. It has been all Munster, but they are not the first side on the board. Melbourne Storm on top of the NRL table. Do you know how to do the haka? Not very well, I have to say, but with 14 men on the field, Glasgow have struck first, and they've struck effectively. I heard something along the lines that Rassi is tough as a coach, says Andeli. And okay, I seem to be back, says Stefan. Getting Glasgow, says was there from Birdie V. Yeah, the fact that they were a man down, and that is actually the second interception chance that they've almost had throughout this first half. And go on, Glasgow, says Manny M. George Horn will be lining up this kick. Had a sensational kicking tea day last week up against the Stormers. Same, of course, could not be said for Mani Lebot, 50k sub haka Hamish. Probably not. I feel like more people would laugh at me than they would enjoy it. Yeah, the conversion, says Manny M. They certainly did. So Glasgow now leading this game 7 points to 3. Like they've said, defensive efforts have been very impressive. I've got to ask, how was your flu? It's pretty much gone now. I have to say, we've been pretty unlucky over the last 2.5 months, I think it is. We've got sick 4 times throughout that time, and none of them have been exactly like small colds or flus or anything like that, which has been brutal over the weekends, but we got there in the end. So that's the main thing. We're still breathing, so that's a good start. When I went back from lock to wing at school, after not eating my greens, I quit smoking because of more running. Says, cool story, bro, but now it's going to be Jack Crowley. Goes on the outside. It's going to be a loose ball. Simon Zebo able to clean that ball up. And also we have got there, I can't do the haka, even I'm a Kiwi. I can sing our anthem. So chuffed that the Blues pulled it through. Their defence was impeccable, says Stefan. And that is something that, of course, is talked about both of these sides throughout their regular seasons. They normally tackle at above the 90%. I must say I myself have been fluish this week, says Birdie V. So from personal experience, I recommend not doing 25 hours of live streaming over the weekend. That probably won't help it. I've learnt that the hard way. That one now going to be the penalty going the way of Glasgow. We have them say, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? One more try for Glasgow before halftime, please, says Manny Emma. Money was shocking last week. Was at Cape Town Stadium when we beat the Lions. Awesome. So now you had all the COVID versions, so all good now. Says Albert. Have a Panado. Not releasing penalty, won by Glasgow here. Looks like Tom Jordan will be kicking this one towards the touchline. There's a quick pace between these two sides. And I'm actually going to very quickly have a look, see the stats for this one to see what the tackling percentages are at the moment for these two sides as we do wait for this line-out throw. Right, stats so far. Defence, 93% for Munster and actually only 82% for Glasgow, which is a little bit lower than I anticipated, but they haven't conceded a try, so they must be doing something right. That one's going to be overthrown to Sione Tuipalotu, and it's not straight, the call from the referee. Apparently a new variant, says Birdie V, so it is not ideal. And Glasgow just have to pile on the pressure and cause Munster to make mistakes, and it is what it is, says Eben. And there. But not straight from the Glasgow line-out throw. I think they weren't too happy about that call, Glasgow. And yeah, by the US and South Africa is also a thing going around. Will be safe. Will the Bulls get a home final? If Glasgow win this game, the Bulls will be at home. If Munster win this game, then Bulls will have to go up north. And that'll be a pretty brutal schedule because when we think about it, they'll be going up north this week, then coming back and then playing in South Africa on the 6th of July. Coaches of 3 of the 4 teams in the semi-finals are originally from South Africa, says Alfie Visa. Now the ball is going to be fed in by Craig Casey. So I can go to the right-hand side to Crowley. Look for the 50-22. Cancellieri read it perfectly, though. He actually ran quite a few metres backwards to get in position for that. That's a good shot on Hugh Jones. He'll offload coming from Josh McKay, and that is going to be knocked on from Kyle Steyn. A little bit of extra pressure coming on this Glasgow side. Masuku is the light of the box at present, says bystander. And testing is so unreliable. Can't even distinguish between flu and hay fever. Says out. Well, I've had both throughout the last few months. A is good, yes, but Pollard is still the king. And AB's play England this year. I believe, Hammy, I'm half the problem. I love Brits, but I'm All Blacks 100%. Says Spider Mick. Yeah, and they actually played them 3 times as well, which is quite cool. We get 2 in the July internationals. Hamish Deep 50 pies for 50k under 30 minutes. That's going to be, I think, impossible. Like, that would be very challenging. What's your thoughts about bringing on the kicker for kicks for rugby? Says bystander. I mean, we saw it. What game was it recently that there was the penalty awarded and then the guy who came off the bench actually did make the kick? If they're already going to be coming on the field anyway, I feel like it's all right. But, oh, that's a knock on there. Are you talking about bringing them on and then them going back off the field, or are you talking about subbing them right when they get the penalty so that he can take it and then stay out there? 50-man go too easy for Hamish. In South Africa, variants, lighter one, and swine flu is doing the rounds too. Yeah, there's a lot going around, to be honest. So, like, I guess this is a perfect time to just say stay safe, ladies and gents, of course. If you're not well, rest up. That's the main thing to do. Don't do what I do, which is do a whole heap of commentary over a weekend while you're struggling to even keep your eyes open, because that made the following days a lot more challenging after getting sick. There has been good so far, just calling what he's saying. Says Lollipop. like the NFL kicker shoots a shot and buggers off. I don't think rugby would go down that way. I feel like the kicker, in some regards, is a part of, like, a really important part of rugby, if that makes sense, rather than having a guy who comes on, comes off. Now, Tuipulotu. Mackay on the halfway line. And final will be at Loftus Bulls versus Glasgow, says Yako. Ref was questionable in this previous semi-final. What date is the final? The final will be taking place, I believe, on the same... It's actually about 2 hours, I believe, after South Africa versus Wales, which is happening next week on the 23rd. Bulls beat, or it might be 22nd for you guys in South Africa, in fact, but 23rd for us here in New Zealand. Bulls beat so-called best team in the world, Ireland, twice. The only best team on the earth is the one with the World Cup trophy. Says Farid, that is very close to the touchline for John Hodnett, who's managed to stay in the field of play. Casey now going behind Luckman with a short ball on the halfway line. Wycherley. Again, short ball from Nankerville. Goes off to Peter O'Mahony. Casey recycled quickly. Glasgow's defence has held up very well throughout this first 32 minutes. I want to hear an Irish joke or a Scottish joke. I am concerned either way, Bruce, to be honest. I don't think nice. I was watching good, quiet rugby. I like how quiet it got, says Mr. All-In. And I just remember me, Achilles, says Jinx. Sorry, I did miss your message a bit earlier on, didn't I, Jinx? I do remember you, of course. It's been a while. Probably at least a few months. If not longer. Have you been here for any of Super Rugby, Achilles? Not that I can think of. Irish joke all day, every day. Says Andeli there. I can't wait to see who raises pick, says Spider-Mech. And of course, next week we are going to be doing a video of us picking an All Black squad. The reason we've left it so late is because of the injuries that just keep on popping up. Like, I think we lost 2 or 3 extra All Blacks just in the last round of Super Rugby, which is a bit of a concern. But 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Referee saying that he wants the game to keep on flowing. I said that there's a chance that this game could be a low-scoring one, 17-14, even 12-6, I think was one of my predictions, which is still possible. Bulls beat Islandside Leinster with its ref, says Farid, although the ref was Scottish. And if I know anything about geography, Scotland and Ireland normally don't like each other very much. You know, at least there's some sort of alliance, I guess you could say, between Scotland and South Africa because of the players in both places. But yeah, the Irish and the Scottish don't normally get along too well. It was over a year ago, last time I was here. Good to see you still big and famous and still so awesome. Says Achilles, well, it's greatly appreciated that you are back. Hopefully everything's going well for yourself. And great. When are you calling back, Savia? Says Andeli. I think he's going to be there in the July internationals. I think. I could be wrong, though. Van der Merwe, the Englishman and the Irish, a wolfhound walking to a bar, Glasgow. Says Leonard there. Now on the halfway line, Munster have got that possession again. Jack O'Donoghue with a pop pass up to Frisch. There's been a lot of work in the breakdown from Glasgow. Which team's in possession at the moment? Munster on the halfway line. Now spin there from Stephen Archer. Oh, geez, that was close too. Casey knocking the ball on, gets it across to Wycherley again. When Alexander Graham Bell tried the telephone invention for the first time, he already had 2 missed calls from Rassi Erasmus. Says Albert now opening up on the outside. Shane Daly running forward nicely, 35 metres out from the line. Stain, that was his penalty, I believe. But it's going to be play on. And Duan van der Merwe, cool story. Says Anunnaki. Now, KC going across there to Jack Crowley. Looks for the kick in behind. He's got a bit too much of it. But it's going to be in the in-goal area. And I love it. We heard you the first time, bud. Says bystander. An Irish magician that couldn't pull a rabbit out of the hat. So he pulled a hair out of his instead. I see. Who's more dominant pack between these two at the moment? I would say that like Glasgow have probably shown more physicality in the breakdown, but Munster have been the more effective forward pack, if that makes sense. Like the Munster forwards have done a lot more in this game, whereas Glasgow, like their forwards have just been strong and hard and not really given much away. Correct me if I'm wrong. How much famous breakfast for New Zealand is cereal or toast? Yeah, pretty much. Cereal toast. Wheat Bix go a long way. That's a nice backline movement. Simon Zebo wrestled into touch, though. Great defence from Glasgow yet again. I think Glasgow will win, says Julio Moses, and cheering them on, mate, says Leonard. And come on, Munster, says Tahern, and the luckily Irish is running out, says Outlaw. I wonder whether or not that luck will be around for the July internationals. They are going head-to-head with South Africa. We are covering that series on the channel. My likely teams are, shouldn't give anything away yet. Breach rugby rules, I might get a fine, says Spider Mech. But Zebo, well defended by Hugh Jones. Uses that power. Come on, Munster 14, says Padraig. Throwing it in. Yeah, Wheatbix is my favourite, says Birdie V. That's going to be now the penalty going the way of Glasgow. It's a Father's Day for everyone tomorrow. I don't think it's Father's Day here in New Zealand. I believe that's later on in the year for us Kiwis. I hope. Anyway. September 1st is when Father's Day is for us in New Zealand. You had me worried there for a second. I was like, hang on, have I forgotten? But no. Couple more months away. So I don't understand what Vegemite tastes like. It's very confusing, to be honest. Like, I'm the same. Marmite's the same as well. Like, it's kind of like a salty... I know that yeast is an easy way of putting it, but like it's like a salty... Like, you feel like you're having like a fizzy drink, but in a can, which is where fizzy drinks come from normally. Scottish eat funny stuff and the Irish drink beer. Big difference in culture, says Stefan. Why can't we watch the game live on TV? Unfortunately, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight down off YouTube. That's a brilliant ball from Cancellieri on the outside to Matt Fagerson, who's now being tackled on the halfway line. Player taken past the ball. That time it's Scott Cummings. Gets in the face of Peter O'Mahony. Peter O'Mahony's getting in everyone's face today. He is playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. I find it funny how it seems so puff and fluffy on TV. Play the game and you get the idea. Well, they always talk about the contact. Like, if you get tackled at full speed, it's the equivalent of getting a refrigerator dropped on you from about 2 or 3 meters high. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally, if I can, would avoid getting a fridge dropped on me from that height because it would hurt. And that is what happens when you play rugby to a certain extent. Yes, you can get lucky and sometimes not get hit as hard, but you still get hit pretty well a majority of the time. Did Glasgow take the 3? They did not. No, they are sitting 7 points to 3 at the moment in this matchup. Only 3 minutes actually remaining in the first half. Which one is Kiwi Hammy? Marmite. So Marmite, I think, is the New Zealand one. Vegemite, I believe, is Australian. The final will be at Loftus, South Africa, says Julian there. And nicely taken under the high ball there for Munster, who run the ball forward. They're inside of their own half, managing to get the offload away to Craig Casey. Goes him behind Wycherley. Going across there to Haley again. Kicked him behind from Antoine Fish. Looking for the 50-22, and the mark is called inside of the 22 for Glasgow. Come on, Glasgow, take the 3 and pile on the point, says Manny M. And can we all agree that we want Glasgow to win? It does seem to be the general consensus is people want to see Glasgow head to South Africa, go head-to-head with the Bulls. Oh, here is a question, ladies and gentlemen. I know we've had a few people who have said they've come back from Loftus from that Bulls versus Leinster game. Oh, yeah, no, that's probably a penalty against Josh Mackay for a leading elbow. Are they going to check it, though? I don't think, or are they? Yes, they are going to check it by the sounds of it. Okay, TMO has turned time off here. But yeah, the question that I have, ladies and gents, is how many people in the chat are going to that final if it is in South Africa? I guess the same question could be asked here, although I assume most of the people who are going to the Munster final, if Munster have a home game, are already at that game. But who would be going to Loftus out of the people in the chat? Do let me know. Here we go, Glasgow, says Mike. Is Josh Mackay sounds like an Irish name. He is a New Zealander. Josh Mackay used to play for the Highlanders. And New Zealand Marmite, yeah, Vegemite is Australia's spirit animal. South Africans have Marmite and Bovril. Bov the fave. I know that this might be an unpopular opinion, right? But Bovril to me just doesn't sound like a nice thing to eat. I'm sure it tastes fine, but Bovril just kind of sounds like, for some reason I think of like boiled blood when I hear Bovril. I don't know why, but that's just, I don't know if I'd be able to convince myself to try it. I believe Glasgow are capable of beating the Bulls should they make the final, says Manny M. I'm in Durban. I'll be going if it's in Pretoria, says a Birdie V, and Loftus will be sold out if the final is there. So it was mainly Swain people. Hamish Bovril will grab you, bud. Cameron Hunter commented, an amazing game. He is definitely a Springbok for the future because he's looking very strong. Bovril tastes like salty barbecue. Love it, says Albert. How do you think of bog roll? Yeah, I guess that could also be something you think of. 1 minute left now. In this first half, it's going to be thrown in. Nicely taken by Peter O'Mahony. Asks for the penalty. Ref says no. Now put it in behind. Jack Crowley with a nice step. Tui Pelotu takes him down in the clean turnover for Tom Jordan. They've got it back here. Glasgow. Matt Fagerson has pace. He gets it away to George Horn, who's taken out late by Peter O'Mahony. Now Alex Nankerville trying to duck under the challenge coming in. It's like Marmite. Glasgow causing an upset so far. Let's see what happens in the second half, says Sergio. Bovril tastes like stale gravy. How does gravy even get stale? Oh, yep, bit of push and shove there. That is between Peter O'Mahony and Matt Fagerson. Now, that is because of O'Mahony's cheap shot that he got on George Horn. He's playing with a lot of passion at the moment, O'Mahony. And like they've just said, if you're talking about who's done the most pushing throughout this game, oh, to be fair, high shot from Matt Fagerson coming in there. Oh, no, he got the ball first. It's a swinging arm, but he hit the ball. So I don't see this as foul play because he did get the ball first. I'll go to Loftus, but the presidential inauguration might be there. Then we'll play in Soweto, perhaps. Bovril sucks, says David Jones. Right, referee has just said that they need a little bit more discipline. Go and support the Bulls in Pretoria. And I last had Bovril back in the days. Prices are steep nowadays, says Undeli. Yeah, like that, the crowd are booing it, but he's got the ball first. He's not the ball out of Peter O'Mahony's hand. Now, that's not saying if you disarm a guy from having the ball, you can clothesline him, but at the same time, there has to be a little bit of... This isn't a yellow card, is it? Like they've said there, from the other angle, you can see that he is ducking down a little bit here, Matt Fagerson. Knocks the ball out. Peter O'Mahony's already almost on his knee at that point. I dare you to drink a pint of cold Bovril. I would rather not. Right, number 6 is going down. We seeing common sense here, or are we just seeing a yellow card? Okay, level of danger is quite high. This sounds like a yellow card for Matt Fagerson. Bovril and coffee, says Inuaki. I dare you. I know I read that one. I forgot. I can't be at Loftus, so FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, says Albert. But yeah, Fagerson will be making his way from the field when gravy gets like pudding, says Robert. A bog roll at Splashy Gin. What is Bovril anyway? Explain to anybody. Pretty much a yeast spread. So like a Marmite, a Promite, a Vegemite, all those type of ones. It's pretty much like a yeast extract spread, I believe is the best way of describing it, for like breakfast, on toast and whatnot. So we used to have Vegemite and Frey Bentos, both Bovril and Marmite now, says Ilmar. I've kicked that one into touch now for Munster. What happens? And Splashy Finn stays there. Adds a hot beef drink spider. Where do I watch it on? Depending on where you are in the world, will depend on what your options are. If you're in South Africa, it's on Super Sport. If you're in the UK, I believe ITV have the games. That's going to be claimed by Munster now. We are after the halftime siren. Craig Casey looking for a gap that did not exist. Bovril was like beef blood extract, but thick and salty. Spice, says Marty. And Glasgow win FNB Stadium. In the Bulls game, that wasn't even a penalty. What the F World Rugby, says WLK. That looks like it's going to be a turnover now for Glasgow's Johnny Matthews. Just can't control that ball to save himself, but he's got it now. And they will kick this one into touch more than likely. Yeah, Glasgow, though it looks like actually they want one last attack and chance. Now, the last thing they want is to accidentally concede here. Bovril is meat extract, says Bruce. Halftime, says Birdie. Yep, that one has gone into touch. And that is now going to make the score 7 points to 3 in favour of Glasgow heading into this second half. So it's been a very close one. Can it be watched in New Jersey? Maybe on Flow Rugby, but I can't guarantee it. I know that on the URC website, they normally have the section that lets you know exactly where you can watch the games. There we go. I'll click on where to watch. I'll find out what you got. USA, it's on Flow Rugby. They've got there. So if America, it's on ESPN Plus. Fun fact. Well, rugby needs to train refs because refs are so inconsistent and make bad calls. If the All Blacks win the 2027, I have Bath and Bovril. Nice. And go Glasgow. Bulls vs Glasgow final will be awesome. Says WLK. Whoever eats meat extra damn nasty. Says Leonard. And Munster or Glasgow will win. Or who win will play Bulls. Where would be the final? So if Munster win, it's going to be at Thorpe Park. If Glasgow win, it will be in South Africa. Not a confirmed location, I don't think, as of yet. For the Bulls, Broccoli and Bovril are trending. Here's bystander. If it is allowed, I can share a stream site here. Is it an illegal stream site, though? Because that's normally when I get into quite a bit of trouble if you're sharing the links. And Munster can kick for the corner and go for a try, says Quandele. I love Bovril. It's full of vitamin B and iron, says Marty. And Bovril on toasted bread is the best, says Undele there as well. But yeah, if you're in the UK, it's on S4C. If you're in South Africa, it is on Super Sport. If you're in Ireland, it's on RTE. And also URC TV is a good option for being able to watch the game as well. But looking through at some of the halftime stats, there's a pretty low scoring game in store for us here. I mentioned that it could be the likes of 12 points to 6 or somewhere around there. I'll keep it to myself then, lol, says Brandon. And there as well. Possession at the moment, 63% for Munster in that first half. 13 defenders beaten compared to the 5 of Glasgow. 5 offloads to 3. Territory at 71% for Munster. And we have seen 88% of tackles being made by Glasgow, 91% being made by Munster. So that is why we haven't seen too many tries. Both sides defensively solid throughout this game. And yes, Glasgow missed 13, but like I mentioned, it didn't cost them anything in terms of that scoreboard. They've had 2 yellow cards for poor discipline, yet they're in the position of still not conceding a try. How much URC TV is? It's $15 New Zealand per game. Because I found that out when our option that we normally watch the game on wasn't working a few weeks ago. I had to actually pay to play or pay to watch the game to do the commentary for it. But that was one of those streams that I was pretty much like, for a start, we're going to lose a bit of money, but that's okay because we wanted to do that matchup. And we managed to do it in the end after a few technical difficulties. Clean breaks. John Hodnett actually having the most for Munster. He had 2. Jack Crowley has beaten the most defenders with 4. Cancellieri beating 2 for Glasgow. Most metres made throughout this whole game is Kyle Steyn with 54. And then 39 metres made by Shane Daly. Ferguson's made the most tackles. Jack O'Donoghue, he has made 10 for Munster, 12 for Matt Ferguson. And those are a few of the stats to do with the first half. Now I'm hungry. Let me get my braai. And also we have got their marmite and peanut butter, says James. Interesting combo. I haven't tried it myself. I used to be weird though, because I used to have a pancake, like, you know, normal pancakes. I put some butter on it. I put marmite, and then I put whipped cream on top. Now, do not knock it until you try it, ladies and gents. She's a bloody messed up combo when you say it out loud. But if you eat it, it just does something. I'd do it over jam, you know, for pancakes. And Franco Smith has trained Glasgow well and has a secret game plan. Franco is a very clever coach. Corned beef and egg sandwich. When you come into South Africa, well, the bank account's not looking flash at the moment. I'll be honest, so probably a few years if I'm lucky. But yeah, I keep spending too much money on the channel of my own money, so I don't have any spare for big trips. Awesome stream. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. Marshmallow and cheese on pancakes. Okay, that's new. Marshmallow and cheese. That's a strange. Like even just cheese on pancakes. But like I can't say much because I have whipped cream on pancakes with Marmite, or I used to anyway. I haven't tried it in a long time. Maybe that's a video idea. I'll try it and see if it's still as good as it used to be, or whether it's really bad now. Seeing as your taste buds, they change every 15 years or something, don't they? Or 7 years? How often do your taste buds change? I think it's 7 years. I don't know. Die and grow back every 2 weeks? Huh? Is it true that your taste buds... No, apparently that's a myth. They change every 2 weeks. That doesn't make much sense though, because like 1 week I'm not gonna all of a sudden go, I like pumpkin, even though I don't mind pumpkin. It was just the first thing that came to my head. Marshmallow and cheese on pancakes. Are you a regular beer drinker? Nah. Because normally when you drink beer, it's normally on the weekends with your mates and whatnot, but I do live streams all throughout the evening, so I need to sleep during the time that they are drinking. We have got there, you should try a pie and a cream stick bread. Cream stick bread. Cream stick sounds dodgy, but maybe worth a try. This is the cider. You like pineapple on your pizza, says bystander. Now, I am in a position where pineapple on pizza, I'm the same with rugby teams in terms of who I support. I can understand the hype. I can understand why people don't like it. I think it... Whoa, that's a burger and a half. What is that? The Warriors Baconator is what that's called. Has anyone had one of those? Anyone from New Zealand tried one of those from Wendy's? That should explain why when we kids, we don't like something, and when we adults, it changes. It also comes down to, I think, as a kid, you have your own, like, you convince yourself you don't like something. A little bit. You know, like Brussels sprouts. Everyone always goes, oh, I don't like Brussels sprouts when they're young. And then when they get older, they're like, it's just a baby cabbage, isn't it? And damn, now I want pancakes. Thanks, Hamish. Says, kept it. Pizza tastes the same to me. It's a French stick with whipped cream, put it on steak and cheese pie in it. And so I was 1 week out in the wrong Ferguson. You were very close though. And I thought you saw a skull burger for a moment, says Brandon. No, it was a big hefty burger. Tell you what, we're gonna put it. Oh, do we put it up on screen or is that too mean? We're gonna put it up on screen. Baconator. There we go. Let's see what she looks like. Is it weird to call a burger a she? That makes, yeah, I don't know whether that's a good idea. Too much sauce, though, by the looks of it in the little picture. But we'll save it and we'll put it on the screen for you guys to see exactly what I'm drooling over. Here we go. We've got downloads. This is just something we do at halftime. While we got the chance. Is it there? Where is the picture? Did it not save? I don't think it's saved. It's a JPEG. Can I not put a JPEG on screen? Apparently not. What about this picture? It's going to be very small. Can I put it? There we go. That's a burger. It's a very small picture of said burger. Like, oh, look at this. Boy, that's some 2003 quality, isn't it, that one? That's the best picture I could find. But it's pretty much just bacon and beef. Sorry, vegans. You live in Auckland? I do not know. We have got their childhood loyalty. Goes the journey. I schmack pineapple on my pizza. Get out if you don't. Says bystander. Well, everyone love their own dish. I love my Arvo Sammy, corned beef and egg. Says Blues Nate and depends if you like eating cheese. Says Anunnaki. But yeah, the burger did look good. Is the point I was making. Oh, that's a better picture. Get in my belly as Shrek would... Does Shrek actually say that? I know people say that Shrek says that, but I don't know if he actually did. There we go. That's the picture, ladies and gents. I'm not a fan of the look of the sauce, to be honest, but that's a lot of bacon. And that little drink with like 5 chips on the side would do me wonders. Second half, though, very close to getting back underway. It looked yummy. If the veggies, says bystander. Tastes good, Blues. It looks delicious, and it's cool to call a burger she needs to be eaten, says Boxy. And there as well, but we will look through at the benches for this game, ladies and gentlemen. I know that that's not very related to burgers. This bloke's name starts with a B, Baron, so that's kind of close. John Ryan and Ollie Jaeger. I'm sure those front rows love a good burger every once in a while. RG Snayman is there at number 19 with Gavin Coombs slotting in as 20. Connor Murray, Sean O'Brien and Kendallin all coming off the bench for Munster. And this one for Glasgow, they've got Turner, Kibble and Walker, Williamson, Ferry and Fenter. They've gone with the 6-2 split. And at the moment, they might need them because they're having a lot of this game played with only 14 men on the field due to a bit of ill discipline. Dobie and Thompson will be the 2 back replacements. Now, Thompson for Glasgow, of course, playing alongside Josh Mackay in the Highlanders a little while ago. That high-calorie meal looked like it could help win scrums. Yeah, that's where the 4 kg advantage has come for Munster. They just had a few of those before the game. Mike Myers said it in Austin Powers. That's the one. That's why it sounded like Shrek. And we got him here in the USA. All 3 meat patties and cheeseburger. Still going Glasgow by 5. No funky sauce on it, says Robert. I know that we're at halftime and we shouldn't be talking about burgers as much as we are. But there's a new one in New Zealand as well that we're going to show. And it's got that good looking vibe to it. Other than, of course, the gherkins. Get those out of that burger. Other than that, though, it would go well. Both sides not too far away from making their way back out onto the field, ladies and gentlemen. I should mention, I do apologise heavily for making you guys hungry by showing you all these pictures of burgers and whatnot. But it's a barbecue bacon crispy burger. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? I could lick it, but I won't because that will look weird. But it looks very good to eat. You know. Other than the gherkins, get them out of that burger. They don't belong there. But other than that, that thing looks sensational. And bit of zombie coming on. I'm on a cut diet and you're making me hungry, man. Sorry, Sergio. I do apologise. A good pork sausage is nice, but steak and butter is my style. And a mountain cabbage burger is a high flyer true story. Says a bystander. And Aussie said everyone loves their own brand. Says cool story, bro. And Beautiful burger. How's it going so far? Munster burger, 2 slices of yellow cards, Glasgow and chips. I like it. I like the puns involved. It's been eventful. You know, those 2 yellow cards like you mentioned, as well as some really good defence. Like, this was never going to be a high-scoring game. You know, as much as people wanted to see a lot of tries, these 2 sides tackling at more than 90% normally was just never going to allow that to happen. Bacon, my favourite vegetable, says Stefan. Can Munster win? They've got a chance. They're only 4 points down at the mountain and at the moment, and they do also have a 1-man advantage for the next little while, but we are underway now. Tom Jordan as the one will be kicking this one up off, but the onions should be doubled, says Elmar. Yeah, they're crispy onions too, so they go all right. Have you ever been to England? I have not, no. I've been watching your vids for a while now and I've never subscribed. You just did my subscription. Was it the picture of the burger that did it, Sergio? Maybe I should show more food more often. That's a nice catch from Josh Mackay, and he's broken the line now. Through 3 tackles, still going. Glasgow on hot attack now. 28 metres out the line. Tom Jordan goes across to Sione Tuipolotu. Good depth in the way that he was running forward, which gave him space to be able to build up his power and acceleration. Yes, more food, says Sergio there. South Africa, there's not one McDonald's burger. There's bacon on them. That seems brutal, doesn't it? Hamish is slowly becoming a food review channel. There you go. If it means that I get to eat food, I am keen. But, yeah, I don't know how that would coincide with rugby. I mean, to be fair, you got to eat food at some stage, you know, in life. That one's going to be the penalty going the way of Glasgow now. Bubblegum on my boots today. When you know, you know. says Juan. Can Munster win? They still can. Have you ever been to Kaitaia, Hemi? Well, the girls are frisky and the boys drink whiskey. I have not been to Kaitaia, no. Technically, meat is vegetable because the cows eat the green stuff for you. It's a new theory. Start putting bacon in every food outlet. You know, a combination I've never understood. We've got a shot coming here, which is why it's got a bit of a stoppage. In fact, they're not taking on the shot. They will kick this one for the corner, but waffles and then fried chicken on top. I assume it's good, but my brain doesn't work when it comes to that combination. Same with like when people have a donut with a chicken on it. Like, what's going on? We have got there, you think Glasgow will win? We have there, Language Road says Denzel. And try put Jekos. I just had some. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Now thrown in. Nicely taken by the Glasgow Warriors, who are up against it here with one man disadvantage, but they are still doing well. You think Glasgow can win? I think both of these sides are still in a great position to go on to win this one. Ty Byrne trying to tie up that ball. He's been told to get out of it. Donut Cam. Oh, it can go both ways, sugar or salt, says Albert. 7 metres out from the line. Stephen Archer actually using his opposite in the scrum to help him up to his feet. Munster come, says Nico, and that's going to be another penalty going the way of Glasgow. Is it now the second half? It certainly is. We're 43 minutes through this contest now. No worries, Hamish. No South African swear words, says Anunnaki. And Munster come, says Nico. He's just tied up there. Yeah, almost a tip tackle, actually, from Wickerley. Aji Snayman going to go beast mode, says Nico. This time is going quick at the moment in this game, ladies and gents. Like, it just seems to be that there is a real... there's a real chance that we end up in the scenario of this game over before we know it. Savage swear words are legendary. Says Albert and Pretoria for the final. All South African was behind the Bulls for the last game and now all behind the Glasgow. And that's the thing, like, they won't be able to play it at Loftus by the sounds of it for that final. If it happens, George Horn tries to chip him behind and he's kicked it dead. They had the penalty advantage, so they'll go back for another penalty in favour of Glasgow. They'll look to put it in the corner. It's a good shot coming in on Matt Fagerson, but it was a little bit early, USA, to win the T20 World Cup. Says Quinton, and Loftus not available for a potential final. And that's going to be a massive shame for the Bulls, because at the end of the day, that's where they probably would have most liked to play their final. What are they doing now for Glasgow? Looks like they're going to go for the line out, but they do not have a ball at the moment out there on the field, so that might be a little bit of a problem. Okay, so Kyle Steyn is saying that they need to be quicker. Oh, sorry, the referee telling Kyle Steyn you need to be quicker. Players are going, we don't have a ball. Like, if we want to be quicker, we need to have a ball in hand. South Africa versus India, T20 World Cup final. And let them play in Durban. And also, we have there, what do you think about the Bulls win? I think that it was a scrappy one and they got the job done in a game that easily could have gone either way. But they had to dig deep, and some brilliant work from Cameron Honeycomb, really. Like, when you look through it, who had the best performance for the Bulls, he was dominating every stat. Now, it's a good tackle made from Ty Byrne. Funny cool story. Says Inuaki. And Soweto will be the location for the final, says Juan. And now turnover for Ty Byrne for Munster. And he is fired up. The crowd get him behind them. Australia will take the T20 World Cup, mark my words, says Kwandele. And come on, Glasgow, says Manny M. In there as well. The steal at the line out. Holds him for a little bit longer in the air, and then just the fingertips of Byrne to get onto the ball. Come on, Munster, says Dehern. And there as well. Looks like a couple changes are about to be made. RG Snayman makes his way onto the park. Ollie Jaeger, he is out there as well. Yeah, India South Africa final, aka BRICS final. And MKC original double down. Although they've got smaller the double downs, I feel like they aren't as impressive as they used to be, sadly. But they've got a Korean barbecue one now here in New Zealand. That's going to be nicely claimed by Tyke Furlong. Casey going across to this left-hand side. Oh, hit on the wrong side there for Rory Darge. Is he going to get up quickly? He looks like he's taking a bit of a wobbly knock there. He's trying to get back on side. Nah, he's not good. Rory Darge, I feel like he might need an HIA's name and will change the game, says Quandile Zinger, says Spider. Glasgow to seal the deal, says Denzel. They're just talking about that contact with Rory Darge. He's trying to continue in this game. He looks like he's got his feet underneath him now, but he was not looking flashed earlier on. Trying to change that one and intercept that one was Cancellieri. And Glasgow now have got the possession only briefly before it does go into touch. Does the McDonald's MacDuff have bacon? MacDuff. Don't know if we've got a MacDuff. And Stairs in South Africa is the king of burgers. Says Albert, we're going to see here, Rory Darge. I mean, it's head on head. They're calling it as a rugby incident. So I hope that this isn't a yellow card as well for a bloke who probably is going to have to go off the field for an HIA. There's a lot more movement and action in the Bulls Leinster game. This game sounds quite boring. I wouldn't say boring. I would say it depends on what type of rugby you enjoy watching, because if you enjoy defensive masterclasses, which I know sounds pretty high praise, but like these two sides are so good at stopping opposition from scoring, and that is something that makes their rugby, it's kind of entertaining in a different way, if that makes sense. Like if you wanted to see a 40-point game, like you're not going to get it with these two sides because they're just very good at tackling. You know, both sides have made, like, there's 100 tackles on the board for Glasgow, tackling at 89%. They've got 6 turnovers. Munster have made 70 tackles. They've tackled at 87%, which is actually a little bit low for these two sides as well. But then the opportunities have been really not too often. Glasgow winning, not boring. Says cool story, bro. Blues might play in Bloemfontein. And also we've got these illegal streaming sites are better with latency issues. Says bystander. And also they are equally good or bad. I don't know if they're equally good or bad. No, it's strong defense which stops many attacks. And, you know, like I said, it's going to be probably 12 points to 6 or something along those lines. A pretty low scoring one. RG Snayman is a beast. But today you're going to chill. Stair Chips the Burgers have been average at best for a decade now. Says Gareth, and RG Snayman will score a try because, like the student. Says Pad Drake, are you following Cricket World Cup after Black Cats exit? Pakistan and now England also at the brink of exit if rain continue. Be full of upsets. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some big ones already throughout that Cricket World Cup in terms of upsets for certain sides. Then Glasgow needs to swing it. Says Mr. Holland, it's going to be kicked downfield from George Horn here. 47 minutes through, close to the touchline. Brilliantly kept in from Cancellieri. And he will keep the ball alive now for Glasgow. On the halfway line, Xander Fagerson runs forward. Like I've just said, Matt Fagerson not too far away from making his way back out onto the field. Forced errors and Glasgow take the penalties. Says Manny M. It depends on if you're a fake breast man, then you like McDonald's plastic patties. Says cool story, bro. RG Snayman only eats Stairs burgers. Says Albert. Now Horn. The right-hand side again, Tui Pelotu. Trying to get those turnovers in the breakdown. And been hugely successful as of yet. Love the show, says Eric. Thank you very much, mate. We are back for the URC final next week. We are also going to be here for the Super Rugby final and South Africa versus Wales. The match taking place next week for international warm-ups. If Glasgow gets one more try, then I think they will win this game. Says Manny M. It's a possibility because, like I mentioned, with two sides that have strong defences, like there just aren't really many chances of getting through and scoring multiple tries in a hurry. Oh, that player joined from the wrong side. I think that was Jack Crowley. He might have been pushed over there. Oh, yeah, got there. Please like and subscribe, peeps. Says a bystander. And there as well. And Panthers winning the Stanley Cup tonight. Says Quinton O'Neill, but the penalty does go against Munster. Glasgow are building into this game extremely well. They're taking the crowd out of it, which I think is extremely important to do when you are at Thorpe. And Parker tries with a lot in the game like this. Exactly right. If the teams play so boring, the Bulls will run over them. Says William Moses. We'll see. Like, at the end of the day, like, there is also that other factor, which is, will the Bulls be able to score as many tries as they did up against Leinster if they are playing one of these two sides who are known for the defence? Like, Bulls are a try-scoring side. These two sides are a try-saving side, if that makes sense. Gone to eat burgers there and not play cricket. I want to see a Scottish team win trophy this season, says Manny M. Glasgow wants those Asterios burgers in Johannesburg. It looks like now they're actually going to take on the 3 points here for Glasgow. So this would give them a lead by 7. One Bulls versus Leinster? I fell asleep. 25-20 in favour of the Bulls. So they are through to the final. They're just waiting to find out who will be in there accompanying them. And Horn, he's hooked that. And that one's missed away to the side, making the score now 3 points to 7. I missed everything today. Work. Was Leinster game any good? It was close. You know, there was some good moments for both sides. At the same time, I feel like they both felt like they could have done more, if that makes sense. But they played how they played, and the Bulls got themselves the win in the end. I got to have some breast and nipples for lunch day, Hammy. Flush it down with milk. Interesting top-class commentary. Again, think Munster would have the wind at their backs in this half. Can make for an interesting final quarter. Thumbs up, brother, says Wordy Wizard. Hey, once again, do appreciate you tuning in. Nice attack and run from Hugh Jones. That is beautiful pace. And Cancellieri gets over and scores the try for Glasgow. That has silenced the Irish crowd. That is a massive try there, but the Bulls scored tries and defended excellently. Says Stefan, and now we play, says Mr. All-In. Ref was bad in the Bulls game 100%, says Juan. I'm getting a sticker shock on New Zealand McDonald's on the menu. Not good news for Glasgow. In what regard? They just scored. Pass on the outside. Cancellieri. Plenty of pace there to finish the job. And Franco Smith developed into a very good coach. Says Alfie, but yeah, beautiful pass on the outside. Glasgow, the Franco Smith impact. And get the conversation or conversion Glasgow. And also, if Glasgow win, do the Bulls host the final? They would, yes, although it won't be at Loftus by the sounds of it. This Italian referee is always biased against Irish teams, and especially the national team. Block pass by the Glasgow player, who was obviously offside. How did you miss that, says Frank? Isn't he Georgian, this referee? Or am I thinking of a different referee? Where's this ref from? Is he not Georgian? I'm going to try and find it. The lineups, here we go. Oh no, Piari is the referee. Who am I thinking of who's the Georgian ref? It's a great play. Holy cow, that try wasn't on the menu. Says Wordy Wizard. Horn has got that one over, making the score now 14 points to 3 in favour of the Glasgow Warriors. Bulls had 16 players against them for East African Rugby. Says cool story, bro. I was on about the penalty miss, Hamish. Says Manny M. And just like that, even though they had that penalty miss, they already have scored themselves another try there. That was a great play, great play. Says Katzenel. And Romanian, says Juan, for where the referee is from. Now, nicely taken by Richie Gray. And unless Munster can break this momentum soon, they're going to find themselves well and truly chasing this game. And there's only 27 minutes remaining. It is flying by at the moment. The F&B Stadium has been good for the Bulls in the past, like when they won the Super 14 final there, when New Zealand announced their team for the upcoming test. I believe it is after the Super Rugby final that they will be announcing it. I think it's on that Sunday, if I am correct. Now, nice offload for Munster. Fresh in open space, but again, the last-ditch tackle made by Tom Jordan. They're going short side, keeping it moving quickly here for Munster as they wrestle towards the touchline. And damaging right now, says Blues Nate. Now good run forward from Munster. Casey going across inside ball to RG Sneyman. Drops it off for Jeremy Luckman. And the Glasgow Warriors win themselves another penalty. I think they will be I think they will the final in July. I didn't manage to watch the Bulls game, but I'm sure it was fire. It says Denzel and Munster will now have to play catch-up rugby. Glasgow has no pushover, says Boaksy. Kyle Stain, the captain for Glasgow. Don't know where he is originally from. Says bystander. And yes, says a man EM, but sensational turnover from Rory Darge. I don't know if he ever went off for his HIA, but even if he's concussed and he's playing like this, he is one of the most effective players out there on the field for Glasgow. And SA says Robin Wood. Oh, hang on, we got a stoppage here. Glasgow are being warned again for using up too much time. But Jack O'Donoghue is off and Gavin Coombs is now on. He has to be a game changer for Munster in this match. Second most contact meters, third most tackles. They have just said about Gavin Coombs, and he's coming off the bench in this game. That seems like a interesting choice. Who have you got? The 3-match series, or the 3 series, South Africa versus Ireland, Australia, Wales, and New Zealand, England. It's going to be an interesting one. I feel like there's a lot of new look that we're going to get to see for certain sides, whether that's New Zealand, whether that's South Africa, maybe mixing it up for the Irish series. Australia, what are they going to do under Joe Schmidt? And Wales, where are they at the moment? Well, this may be the first Scots in the URC final. Says cool story, bro. George Horn looking for the offload, manages to get it away to Tom Jordan. Now rolling it back. I don't reward you for these things, is the comment from the referee. I think someone was trying to milk the penalty. Referee says, nah, we're not doing that. That's going to be charged down by RG Snyman. And now it's back onto the side of Munster again. They're 40 metres out. URC is so unpredictable. I'm loving the drama, says Denzel. Now Casey back across to the right-hand side. Pop pass up to Tyg Byrne. There's still a try up the sleeve for either of these sides here. Keep it together, Glasgow. There's a man EM. The Munster. Can they get through? Here comes Gavin Coombs. Gets it away to Snyman. Now Luckman goes through. The big man, Jeremy Luckman. He will be dragged down 3 metres out. Omani offloads it up, and it's the try for Anton Frisch, who scores it now. Munster are back in the game. And this game, like I've said, is still truly alive. This game far from over, exactly right. And that try mixes it up just a little bit more. Pretty good competition, says Cool Story Bro. And Kyle Stan from Cape Town. I like URC more than Super Rugby, says Dominique. And there as well. And of course, both finals are taking place next week for Super Rugby and the URC. We are covering both of them on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I hope they missed the conversion. Good try, says Juan. And we are alive at 6:23. Yeah, it's currently a pretty early morning here in New Zealand. Just checking that grounding, and I think it's all good. Let's go. There's a try. Says Blues Nathan. Brilliant Munster. Come on, says to Hearn. And they need this kick to go over here for Jack Crowley. And his mother was from Durban, says Cool Story Bro. Taking his time now. Comes to lining up this kick. Close game, says John. Certainly is. And, man, what did Glasgow do with their turnover? That one's going downfield. I believe they kicked it into touch from there. And then I think it was in the next breakdown that Glasgow were able to take a back. Close game. And that has gone over, like I mentioned, from Crowley, which now makes the score 10 points to 14 between these two sides. A big run from Jeremy Luckman. Thought that he might have been able to score himself a try today, and he's not completely out of the running for a try possibility. Connor Murray now onto the field. That is for Craig Casey. Another change that is being made Australia. What are they going to do under Smith? 80s fungus still lingers in Oz Rugby. We have got there. Come on, Glasgow, says Johannes. As a Stormer supporter, I got to support the Bulls in the final because their shade is still blue. Max Williamson about to make his way out. Can't see Hamish, who has the moment in the game. Says Albert, or the momentum at the moment. Momentum-wise, like, that was a good try from Munster. Glasgow, throughout the last maybe 10 minutes or so, have still been the more prominent side in terms of the way they've been able to attack, and that try of Cancellieri really cemented that. Come on, Munster, go all the way. And aim for a drop goal, says Manium. I think it's a bit early to be going for drop goals for Glasgow. I think that they want to try here as well. But 10 points to 14 at the moment. Well taken by Simon Zebo. Taken by Henko Fenta, who has just recently made his way onto the field. Give it Eddie another run for 3 times a charm. Says, "Cool, sorry, bro. The Munster bench turning on the afterburners," says Leonard there. And go Glasgow, says Albert. 22 minutes left. It could be a kicking game, says Manny M. Glasgow still have plenty of attacking threats. When will All Blacks play any future tours coming? They are playing in July. And they'll be going head-to-head up against the English. It's too painful, says Kerr, although they're in the lead at the moment, Kerr. They haven't quite got out of this contest yet. I'm sure you'll be very nervous, though. But it is good to see you. Spawning your Glasgow boys. Whereabouts in the world are you located for this one? And if they make it to the final, are you in a different country compared to today? Come on, Glasgow, says Bejane there. And come on, Munster, put the pressure on and get into the Munster 22. Here comes Sione Tuipulotu, ball on the outside. Mackay going to Hugh Jones. Halfway line now. Come on, Glasgow, says Leonard. Gone high with Horn. Stain, he's chasing that one pretty handily, and he's actually knocked it back onto his side. I'm at home for now, says Kerr. You'll be enjoying a little bit of a break then, more than likely, after your busy period. Come on, Glasgow, says Edward. And as we get there, blues is my favourite colour. Or blue is my favourite colour. What's your favourite colour, Hamish? I do enjoy a yellow, although a blue goes a long way as well. And almost the same coaching staffs that made Ireland become successful. Says Blues, Nate. How's it, China? Stormers all the way. I'll back the Bulls in the final, even though I live in Galway. You don't want an Irish team in the final. Irish egos, bubbles popped, says Juan. Now ball is about to be fed in here by George Horn. I believe he's going to put in a relatively close to the 80-minute performance. Dobie is going to be coming off the bench for them, but at the same time, I don't think they want to be making their subs too early in this game. Now off the back, George Horn going to the right-hand side. Sione Tuipulotu with the flat run forward. Makes a couple metres for his Glasgow Warriors side. Good morning, buddy. Love to see you, Kerr. That's a turnover for Munster. Just like that, getting the ball back into their position. And now Simon Zebo on the outside. Good tackle made by Josh Mackay. And the penalty won by Glasgow again. We've got to remember, this is a Glasgow side that have already had 2 yellow cards against them in this match. I think George Horn won that penalty. Looked like Munster were getting in his face, so how has he done this as well? George Horn, one of the smallest players on the field. Oh no, in fact, he was lying down on the ground. Yellow-black colour. Combination looks so good. Says Coding. I do agree. How likewise, buddy, going well? How's life? Says Kerr there. Currently into the last quarter of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Glasgow still with the lead. Glasgow's doing pretty well. Says, what's that from? Achilles. And they are. They're taking it to them at Thorntman Park, which is something that they had to do from the start. They couldn't afford to allow Munster to play their natural game. Just once again, looking at the tackling stats, as I have said, that is what has really made this game more of a defensive-orientated game rather than attack, because of some of these brilliant numbers we have been seeing from the two sides at the moment. In terms of tackles, we have seen a 90% tackle rate made by Glasgow. That is nothing new for them throughout the season. 86% for Munster. That's starting to drop a little bit. And expect Glasgow to give Munster this hard time, says Achilles. It's about to be a line out here, though, for the replacement. 16 for Glasgow. George Turner. That's going to be stolen at line out time by Munster, but there was a knock on. Well, at least, man, we'll be on Mars before Wales. There's more wins than against New Zealand than against them. And don't let them break you now in Glasgow. Let Richie Mo'unga razor. In a way, I felt the Bulls wanted to redeem themselves from their 2022 Stormers final defeat. South Africa all the way. I hope Blues take the cup in Super Rugby. I always love the Blues. Hope we win that there, says Jinx. And Glasgow are tough and determined. Yeah, when you give them a sniff and you keep them in the game, they will definitely fire up. And that's what we're seeing here. Like, they were taking it to Munster, like I mentioned, and they had a good lead just a bit ago. That try from Munster changed it a little bit, only 4 points difference now. Glasgow got to show their medal, man, rooting for these underdogs in this game so they can at least see the finish line since Bull's going to cross it. And also, so 15 Irish internationals just played the Bulls and lost. Box must be having a giggle, says Juan. Yeah, although they've got to make sure they beat Ireland. That's the big thing. They can have a massive laugh afterwards because, you know, the last few results up against Ireland haven't gone that great for the South Africans, and they want that redemption. They want to beat them on home soil. A lot of those other games that Ireland have won, of course, have come from neutral ground rather than being in South Africa. 90% of Pretoria will be sloshed tonight after the Bulls' victory, says Renard. And Hamish, according to you, which matches you enjoy? 200 plus 4s and 6s? Bowl of friendly pitches, low totals in T20, your opinion? I probably think for a spectator-wise, you want to see like around that 200 runs. Good point. Says Juan, and Box can't beat Ireland. I think they want to change that, though. In the next tour, it's going to be 2 matches. I wish it was 3. We needed a decider. Definitely if it goes to 1-1. Pretoria will be sold out. And also, I can see the Irish loss to the Bulls as a precursor for our forthcoming showdown. The Irish team is a very considerable team, but it looks like no club team will make it to the final, says Alfie. Now, George Horn back across to Jack Dempsey. Still 17 minutes left. There is more than enough time for either of these sides to win this game. Sione Tuipulotu, great attack and run there from the inside centre. Serious Glasgow fan at the moment of time, says Daniel and Hamish. The wife is here waving, says hello. Well, hello, Kerr's wife. Nice to virtually meet you. I don't think... Has she been sitting next to you on a live stream before, Kerr? I can't remember. But yeah, nice to virtually meet you. Seeing as I've in person met your husband, which sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But it makes sense in my head. Do you think it's a good idea the 2031 World Cup be held in the USA? I mean, it would have been a lot harder if they had been knocked out of the 7 circuit, I think. But then, you know, you got to go to different locations. You got to try and grow the game of rugby. Hopefully USA take it with both hands and really, you know, get behind it in terms of the support that they get. Watch South Africa give Ireland a lesson they never forget, says Denzel. It's offside from Gavin Coombs, which now gives the 3 points opportunity for Glasgow, and they will go for the corner. And they haven't found touch. What a balls up that is. I know she's normally not allowed. She went to one game and Glasgow lost. Oh, no. Well, hopefully they win it for her in this one then. It's going to be kicked downfield, down the middle. Why isn't top 14 shown in New Zealand? Seems insane. It does, definitely because it was shown a few years ago. Like currently La Rochelle and Toulon is a game that is coming up soon and we can't even watch it here. Kick downfield, Josh Mackay looking for touch, doesn't find it again here for Glasgow. I remember parties at the nightclub 80s after Sharks game was a time. Tuipulotu is a really good player and underrated, says John. That's going to be an advantage now in favour of Glasgow again. Horn going back across to the left-hand side. Sione, Tuipulotu, flat ball to Henko, Finta. And they're going back for the penalty. Oh, we have got there. Stupid Glasgow should have taken the 3 points. Come on, Munster, says to Hearn. She's just getting kicked out of the room now after Glasgow missed touch. No. Surely she's not that much of a jinx, is she? Did they win when I wore that Glasgow kit, Kerr? I can't remember. Did they win that game or did they lose that game? Because I know I wore it ages ago. I can't remember if I got a 100% winning rate or a 100% losing rate for that kit. And Adi Snaben is from Norway. Such a unit. Says bystander. And come on, Glasgow, why did y'all go for the 3? Or why didn't y'all go for the 3? I assume that is. But yeah, it could have been an easy 3 if they did decide to take it about 40 metres out. So it would have been doable. Looks like now Luckman making his way from the field. Ryan coming on. 17 minutes left for Glasgow to win. And in fact, we get into less than that now. Only 14 minutes. This time, Tom Jordan finds touch with it. There will still be a lot of nervous supporters in attendance at the moment for this game. They won. So if they lose tonight, it's on you. Oh, no. How do you know I don't have it on underneath? Ooh, plot twist. Artie's naming us from Japan. Says Albert. That one's going to be thrown in. Nicely taken now. Henko Fenta mistake, but it's gone backwards, says the referee. They're 30 metres out. Henko Fenta has another carry. Now they're up to 25. Dempsey across to Jamie Batty, who's attacking at the moment. It is Glasgow, and that's going to be almost a clean turnover for Tyg Byrne. That's going to be knocked on. You mean South Africa? And also, what an effort from Glasgow. Now kick downfield, charge down from Haley's boot. And they'll go back for the original knock-on in favour of Munster, I believe. AB effect from Glasgow Panthers for the win, says Kerr there. It's always Panthers and Hippos, isn't it? We talked about a lot of pizza today, Kerr. I'm sure you would have loved the chat earlier on. Oh, no, we didn't talk about... Well, we did on Super Rugby's live stream. We talked about pizza. This one we talked about burgers. Seems to be no matter what, we can't avoid the food. We need to rest RG for the Box versus Clovers, says Juan. And also we got the Leonard dude. Are you going to be supporting Glasgow next week if they go through? And gaslighting works the algorithm. Jump on, Hamish. Gaslighting works the algorithm. It's like me, saying controversial things. What burger you like, Hamish? Well, we were showing one earlier on. We haven't tried it yet, but oops, that's the wrong button. This one here, it just looks good, you know. Other than the gherkins, get them out of the burger. Other than that, though, crispy onions, bacon, cheese, patty, it looks good. I like it, but I haven't had one. Steak for me tonight, says Kerr. Good choice. You have garlic butter on your steak, Kerr? Garlic butter's bloody good. Bulls are the best, says Cole Brothers D. And I'm a Bulls fan, says Leonard. Okay, now I see what this is about, dude. Says Cool Story, bro. Now, it's going to be fed in by Connor Murray. I'm back to the right-hand side. Munster, 40 metres out from the line. Fresh manages to find his offload away to Brian. Wrestle towards the touchline, but they can't get him out in the end. What's happened to Robbie Deans? I think he's still coaching somewhere. If I'm correct, big driving tackle made from Glasgow's defence. Byrne goes on to the outside, away to John Hodner. There's open space here for Munster if Glasgow aren't careful. Burger King has a double bacon, 3 patty and cheese special on here in Ireland, says Juan. And our ones are different, that quarter pounder in South Africa. Do you make homemade burgers? Sometimes, with some big burger patties. Looks like Burger King burger. Almost. It's a McDonald's one. And go Munster, says to Hearn. It's a knock-on originally from RG Snayman, which stopped their move another 12 minutes for Glasgow. Yeah, it's going to go down to the wire, this game. I just have that feeling that, you know, we're going to be waiting for the final moments of this game. 9 handling errors from Munster is a lot higher than we are used to seeing for them. Glasgow having 6 of their own, which has kept this game pretty close as well. Come on, Munster, says Quandele, and I really hope Munster win. I don't like the Bulls Stormers fans, says Talib. And their Burger King bacon burger sounds yum. And even though those burgers in the photos are much bigger than the reality, absolutely. They also look a lot better. And not just because of the size of them, just because of the wonkiness. Penalty try, Glasgow, shock and call, says Kerr there. And Stormers, says Juan in there as well. Munster, I'm missing you to Hearn. And the Stormers, Glasgow should have taken the 3 points. They probably should have, because it would have put them 7 points ahead. Munster taking it up another level. And yeah, there's still 11 minutes remaining in this game. Bulls would love to meet the Warriors in the final, says Bettinghoff. See, I feel like for the Bulls' sake, like we've said, they want to face the Glasgow Warriors just because that's the home final, and that would be a massive advantage. But up against Fortman Park, Munster, just looks like if the Bulls can do what Glasgow are doing here, they will have a chance of beating them. You're doing a great job on holiday in New Jersey. Come on, Munster, says Mbicha. So hopefully you are enjoying your holiday so far, and it is lovely weather for you. 11 minutes left now, Glasgow. Going back across here, Sione Tuipolotu looping him behind to Tom Jordan. Skip pass out wide to Kyle Stain. He's got space and he just gets ankle tapped by Munster. And the Munster side turn it over yet again. And that time it was Sean O'Brien who got it. Really wish Fly Hearts would take advantage of advantages, have a crack at the posts. And hot dogs are British hamburgers. Says Albert to Glasgow win a penalty. They did, but it was a long way out. Well, they had a scrum feed, sorry. Rather than the penalty, 9 minutes left for Glasgow, says Manny M. And Munster from Padraig. How's the weather in New Jersey? Or NZ? It's all right here. We're 1 degree Celsius at the moment. It isn't too bad. Like, it's been worse. And when Glasgow try will do it, says Inawaki. My brain is at the end of clever. My wife is sitting here looking very confused at my anguish, says Kerr. Nicely taken again. 10 minutes left, Kerr, for them to make it to a final. Did I just jinx them by saying that? Maybe. New Jersey, that's a wild place to go for a holiday. And high ball is working good. Priest says Mr. All in now. Peter O'Mahony. Good shot on him by Jamie Doby. They need another try here if they want to feel secure in this game, Glasgow. If Kyle had support, that would have been a try, says Leonard. Although he was too quick, he managed to break away without anyone being able to catch him, aside from, of course, that Munster last line of defence. Another drop ball from Munster. They've dropped it quite a bit throughout these stages in the match. We got the swearing from Kerr as well all over. Or overall, South Africa has top quality food. And takeouts are top class. Is Peter O'Mahony still playing? He is. He's out there on the field. This ball dropped this time by Sean O'Brien, a man who did so well on the other side of the field to win the penalty for his side, or at least get the clean turnover, to now go on to this side of the field and drop it. Glasgow look like they're making changes. Ollie Kebble will make his way onto the field for Jamie Butty. It's going to be a scrum feed for the Glasgow Warriors here. And try up Brain, it's good. Those turnovers must turn to a try. Call Brain. Says Manny M. This will be hilarious if both Irish clubs are out. Let's go Glasgow, says the big set on. I agree. Hope Glasgow make it a reality, and come in Glasgow need to sleep. A while to think Glasgow are only in an away semi because of the last 3 games of the season. It made a big difference. Like, one more win, they would have topped the table in terms of the points. Like, they were just short of Munster, and who knows how it could have changed if all of their games were taking place in Scotland rather than in different locations. Well, this one, that's a nice short ball from Sione Tuipolotu. Still there for Glasgow. 9 minutes left on the clock now. Dempsey trying to break through. Can they get that big try that they require? Fenta goes across Tuipolotu now to Xander Fagerson. Now both ways being checked there. Henko Fenta gets his offload away to Tom Jordan. Couldn't go through that tackle attempt though. A Tyke Byrne. He's been held up. They do have to release him. Now Jack Dempsey. Big contact. And just remind us again after this outcome where the final was played. So if Glasgow win, it will be a final in South Africa. If Munster win, it will be a Thorntman Park home final. Right, that's going to be a knock-on from Munster again. The advantage was over, or it is now over because they're having the scrum. The way this game is going, the Bulls will take the tournament, says Albert Chips. Hamish, which Supersport side do you support? Supersport. What's Supersport? Peter? Should I know what Supersport is? All I can think of is, for Supersport is the South African broadcaster, which I assume is not the one that you mean. Come on, Munster, RG's name and catch it. That was such a big yawn, I almost just dislocated my jaw. You know when that happens, where you feel something pop down there? Luckily we didn't, or else that would have been very awkward for the rest of this live stream. In that case, come on, Glasgow, able to score a try. Says the big set-in. Supersport South Africa teams, I guess, says Edward. Or Edward, I should say, and exactly no idea what went on. They should have come away from Lions with 5 points, says Kerr there as well. Glasgow need to make up for last night's thrashing. last night. Who was playing last night? Like in Super Rugby? No, Super Rugby was close. Which game was one-sided last night? That's going to be another penalty to Glasgow. 7.5 minutes remaining now. A yawn injury. Imagine me having to go to the doctor and say, "Doctor, I dislocated my jaw. How'd you do it?" "I yawned." That would be pretty sad, wouldn't it? Can someone score a try? I think they'll take the 3 here. Glasgow just stay in the Munster 22 and Panthers were playing last night. I see. And Scotland, or Bosch 5, Scotland 1. And Bulls will be the favourites if Warriors win. Says Ryan. There is an Indian Super Sport stream platform as well, says one. I think he means Super Rugby. Just take the 3 points, says Manny, and come on, Glasgow. Now they've kicked for touch again. They want to seal the deal here. This is a brave tactic, but this could also be a stupid tactic, depending on how this goes. They've claimed that one, though, there. Matt Ferguson, RG Sneyman is there, breaking off the back. Here comes Henko Fenter. 10 metres from the line. I feel like the doctor would think it's a lie. Yeah, possibly. It'll be an awkward one too, because I know my doctor, because like we're from a small town, so he'd always look at me funny. Now it's going to be a Glasgow Warriors advantage. This one is a much easier kickable 3, but they haven't really opted to go for them throughout this game. Oh, that's an ugly clean out. Double blow of the whistle. Nankerville's saying he's got his hands on the ball. This might be a yellow card here for Alex Nankerville. Mel Gibson's blue face, painted face. I just envision the Highlands and weep with pride and gold as a reward, says Cool Story Bro. It would be for URC. It will be good for the URC if the Scottish team wins the cup next. And Glasgow Styles, go big or go home. No, he's in our house. I mean, to be fair, they're sticking by that, aren't they? A knockout rugby, you go for 3 points. Says Sergio. They're checking this one, though, to see whether or not... Is it? Oh. They're going to check this one now. You're working the night shift for us, all good? These results will wake you up, says Denzel. Yeah, it's currently 6:47 a.m. here in New Zealand. It's a bit of a late night, but we will be back next week as well with South Africa versus Wales, the international match that has taken place. Also, alongside that, we are doing the Super Rugby final, the URC final, both happening on their channel. Zero breeze could affect the kick decision. Not a big one. Like a little breeze, but not enough to make you go, nah, I don't want 3. If that makes sense. Munster going to win, says Julian. And for a Bulls and Glasgow final here, says Edward. Get 14 versus 15 Munster, and come on Munster, says yeah boy. Right. Makes direct contact with the head. This sounds like Alex Nankerville is going to find himself in a little bit of trouble here. He's saying full play. There's no need to do that. He has duty of care. It's a red card. There's the comment there from the referee. Sounds like Alex Nankerville. I mean, yellow already was still not going to be here. Kindly advise how much time is left. It's been showing 71 for some time. So currently at the moment we're up to 74 minutes. Are you going to do the squad prediction for the Box to face Wales? We are. It's probably going to come out less than 24 hours from now. I think it's going to be about maybe 6 p.m. South African time tomorrow that it does come out. I'll be at Twickenham for South Africa versus Wales next week. French is on point, says bystander, although I think he's Romanian, so I slightly got it wrong. I love every second of the commentary, says Johan. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. 2 more minutes left, says Manny M. But the red card going, like they said, if it goes to extra time, they would have to finish this game with 14 men, although extra time doesn't seem too likely at the moment, but they are going to take on the 3 here for Glasgow. And just if Munster win, boo in advance. George Horn will go for the point. Damn rugby like that. Up there, eh? Says Mr. Allin, and it's currently 8:48 in South Africa. So yeah, about 5 p.m. South African time tomorrow, I would say, is when it will come out for the squad prediction video. We're almost ready for this George Horn kick. He's going to use up as much time as he can. He's got 60 seconds to work. The crowd are going to start booing him, but if Munster were in this position, they would do the exact same thing. The crowd won't like it. And like they've said, he can do it. It's within the rules. And 7:49 is the red card for Munster. It is Alex Nankerville, the man who did end up with the red card. Lining up this kick here for George Horn. Has to make sure this one goes over. Might as well be still awake. Auto, like, and subject. And eating my chicken and rice and no burger, says Sergio. That kick has gone over now. Nicely done for Glasgow, and they will be leading 17 points to 10 with 5 minutes left. If Glasgow lose, I'm going to Ewan McGregor shouting it's bad to be Scottish in my head all night. Hold on, Glasgow, says Tony McCarty. 5 minutes. So all it's going to take. I don't know if they can bring it back from here, says Johan. Nicely taken by Scott Cummings. Do you like curry and rice, Hamish? I don't mind it. I like a butter chicken. That's normally my go-to. And if yes, says Kerr. He's a happy man at the moment, but will he stay happy? Hopefully he does. Oh, that's going to be knocked on by Kyle Stain. Ball onto the side of Munster now. Crowley, 40 metres out from his line. This Munster side, they have got the potential of golden point time if they can score themselves, or sorry, extra time rather than golden, if they score themselves one more converted try. I concur, says a bystander. And final in Pretoria. Come on, Glasgow, says Albert. Glasgow sealed the deal already. Welcoming all visitors to Pretoria, says Quinton. URC chance 2024 for the Bulls, says Daniel. But now in behind, Munster using their backline. But the Glasgow tackling has just been great throughout this game. They haven't missed too many at all. They've been forcing errors. We're just going to have a look at the stat again in terms of the tackle numbers. They're at 91%. Munster at 88%, which is still a very valiant effort in this game, and normally would be strong enough to win a majority of games. It's very popular in New Zealand. It's there. Like, there's a few places that sell it. Did you find your lad you were looking for last week, bystander? Still on the side of Munster on the halfway line. Quick hands coming. Still time. It's going to be Ollie Yeager. Oh, mistake being made. A brilliant kick pass there from Crowley to keep it alive, but to go back for the original penalty for Munster. Come on, Glasgow Marmite with sardines and condensed milk. We got the Billy emoji there from Kerr in the chat as well. I'm very popular here in England. And Jake White just let us all know Loftus will be available. Oh, well, that's a big bonus for the Bulls. Congrats, Bulls, on you, Jake White, boys. And also, Savage always counting their chickens much too early. Wonder why the world detests them, says Bill. Got to be full time. Yeah, there's still 2.5 minutes left in this one. The clock that I've got on screen is a lot slower than the one that they have got at the game. I'm drunk on joy of victory already, Scotland. Drunk Mel Gibson, Blueface. How many seconds to go? We have got a total of 153 seconds remaining in this contest. What's the popular dish in New Zealand? I mean, fish and chips goes a long way too, to be fair. Good old burger as well, like the one I showed you earlier on. Just over 2 minutes left. Thrown in, well claimed. And now Barron does get a right. Unfortunately, not going to Greece for a week away with the wife, says Kerr. I mean, that's not exactly a bad trip that you can go on, is it, to Greece? That'll be lovely. Out Connor Murray goes off short. 2 minutes left, still on the clock. Glasgow defending from inside of their 22. They need to win a penalty turnover if they want a chance. Murray now going off again to Kendellen. You need a couple of rebels, Rose. You look like a zombie. That is because we've been up for almost 24 hours. That is a mistake from RG Sneyman. Drops the ball. In fact, no, it's not Sneyman. It's going to be John Ryan. Longest 2 minutes of my life, says Sergio. And also we have got their fish and chips. It's cold weather food. Oh, Billy boy, oh, Billy boy. The bubbles is about to get popped. And in South Africa, braai with all 7 kinds of meat is the most popular. Greece is beautiful. Problem is it's full of Turks. Sorry, Greeks. Same. But now 1 minute 20 left here. Glasgow to cause the upset. That would put them through to a final to face the Bulls in South Africa. He's looking forward to sitting on the deck. Looking at the Acropolis. So I'm in the good books, says Kerr. Well, that's a bonus. Always a good book to be in, of course, is the good one. It looks like Connor did the Irish a favour to pull out of the fight with Chandler at this point. It is embarrassing for the Irish. And we soak up the Greek sunshine. Kerr, you deserve it. Certainly does. Like, the amount of hours that man works throughout the regular year is a lot. He does a lot of steps too, from what I have seen. RG through the game, such a gent. Says bystander, please Munster, says Padraig. And too many Munster errors. Yeah, they've had double figures in terms of drop balls throughout this game. Loftus Stadium won't have plays for next week. An epic win from Kiwi there. Thank you for your dedication. There's Arthur. Yeah, we're certainly feeling it. Being up for 24 hours. The eyes are about as bloodshot as they can be. But we're still going. That's the main thing. Like I say, we're still breathing, still going. All good. 1 minute left. Another scrum reset here. For Munster, they need to get the penalty here. So Tired says, cool story, bro. Just not the Irish yet, says Johan. George Horn to put it in. Nice Loftus game. Go Bulls next weekend. Appreciate you, Hamish, says Bill. And also they might do it. It's a big challenge. And fair play to you, mate. Says Juan. And clock going slow it is. That's gone. Oh, I thought that was going to be a penalty going the way of Munster there. But it's going to be another scrum reset. 50 seconds left now on the clock. They want to reset. Time is now off. We shall see. Denzel says Manny M. Kurt, over now. Why don't you? I think it'll be a ban if I have a rendition of that one. 40 seconds left. Referee has turned the time off. He's also on the near side of the scrum rather than the far side. Got to be game. Clock seems to be going backwards, says Kerr. Yeah, still 40 seconds left. It's Glasgow scrum it is. They're 10 metres out from their own line though. Now, George Horn gets it out to Sione. Tuipolotu. Munster want a turnover. Glasgow want to keep the ball for a little bit longer. If Munster scores, let it be deep in the corner. Says Sergio. They were looking for the turnover there. 17 seconds remaining. George Horn goes back across. The Thorpman crowd is silent at the moment. This is not the game that they anticipated. Now the fun is going to start, says Andrew. They've been told to use it. George Horn goes back in the pocket. Have we had full time? Or just... the referee had to confirm if time was off. If it wasn't, it was going to be a 5 metre scrum for Munster. So they had to make sure the time was up there, Glasgow. And they have got themselves the victory. 2 Irish sides in the semis are knocked out, and it will be a final between the Bulls and the Glasgow Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the commentary, my friend. I can't believe the 2 Irish teams lost, says Joss. And also the stress, says Sergio and Glasgow. Get ready for the big blue Bulls machine in South Africa. Bulls to win the URC, says Raymond. Yes, says Cool Story. And yes, says Tony. And Scotland versus South Africa, says Manny M. Nice, says Albert. But just defensively, like I mentioned, big praise to both of these sides for the way that they were able to play in this contest. Really wake up call for Ireland. Coaching disaster all around, says Unleashed Mystery. Flash score not rugby favourite, says bystander. Happy for Glasgow and even happier for the Bulls, and Irish can now focus on the South Africa test preps. And Glasgow win by 3 points. Glasgow to win, says Kerr. And of course, we're going to be here next week for that final that has taken place, ladies and gentlemen. There is also a game happening prior to that final, and it's a big one. South Africa versus Wales, the international warm-up. That is going to be a huge game. We are covering that one on the channel, like I mentioned, as well as this URC final, as well as the Super Rugby final, which is also taking place next week between the Blues and the Chiefs. So be sure, ladies and gents, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button, as there is the big win that is now here, and it's going to be a big one just around the corner. Like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get to see a final and a half, like the video says, Rugby. And also fantastic, great listen to you, Hamish. Till next week, Bulls all the way, says Duncan. I expect Hamish to wear Glasgow kit for the final. I would get in a lot of trouble, Kerr. Like a lot of trouble. Maybe I'll wear it underneath as a secret. And great talk, everyone. Get some rest, Hamish, says Denzel. More like World XV versus South Africa. So we got the finger to the Bulls from Kerr. Thank you very much for the commentary, says Alexander. No worries at all. And like I mentioned, we are back next week. And also, in about maybe 20 hours' time, we're going to have the video going up on the channel, which is our prediction of what the lineup is going to look like for the game taking place between South Africa and Wales. So the lineup prediction for the the Springboks. Are you from Australia or New Zealand? I'm from New Zealand. So we're currently sitting exactly 7 a.m. now here in New Zealand, which is why my eyes are bloodshot, why I probably look like I haven't slept in a day, and that's because I haven't. But we are at the end of the weekend. Steak, says Kerr. And there as well, we have got there later, folks, says Kerr. So we will see you later. See you next week. Thanks for your time, your sacrifice, says Brandon. Damn, Hamish, you're almost at 50k. Well, congratulations. I've been here since you reached 1k subs, says CK there as well. And yeah, we've got plenty more to come for these live streams. International rugby is just around the corner. It's kicking off next week with a couple big matches taking place. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for next weekend. We are ready to go for some more entertaining rugby.